Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Rebirth. I carry a desktop computer inside me. Chapter 1. Zhangzhou Computer City. As a well-known computer city in the south, it is very lively and crowded every day. Handsome guy, do you want to check the computer? The latest authentic fruit notebook has arrived. In the narrow passages, clusters of salesmen were holding flyers and shouting to customers. Some brand stores even sent beauties to stand in front of the store to attract customers. Longjia Computer Flagship Store. Although it is said to be a flagship store, it is actually just a small store with an area of less than 9 square meters. The small space is filled with things. Brother Dong, this computer is too antique. It can't be repaired, and there is no need to repair it. The young man who was immersed in disassembling the machine in the corner pulled the host and complained. An i5 2300 CPU and 2GB RAMs from Jamestown. This configuration would have been mainstream in 2011, but no one wants it now. Hey, Ah Cheng, this customer is God, he can do whatever he says. Brother Dong, the owner of the computer store, was holding the customer aside and replied. He's a little old man. I worked for him for an hour, but I still couldn't persuade him to get a new one. Okay, I think this is the CPU that can be used, and the others need to be replaced. These antiques are not cost-effective secondhand. Ah Cheng, whose name is Zhang Cheng, has been working in the computer city for 5 or 6 years. His main job is repairing computers, and his side job is reselling some parallel imports. He rarely sells second-rate goods, but who doesn't pay attention to profits? Old antique computers are troublesome to repair and not cost-effective to replace. How can they be compared with the mainstream configuration of a new computer sold in the city? While talking, Zhang Cheng plugged in the power supply and prepared to test the circuit. But when he reached over with his hand, he felt numbness in his hand. Zhang Cheng's heart skipped a beat, not good. However, in just a moment, countless fragments of history flashed through the depths of Daoda's eyeballs. The next moment, Zhang Cheng lost consciousness. Filled vertical rectangle, no. Quote. Generally speaking, the results of the third model in our class are pretty good. According to last year's score line, there were 21 people who could go to undergraduate level. I hope everyone. On the podium, a bald teacher was commenting loudly, but before he finished speaking, he was interrupted. Ah, a roar that woke up from a nightmare, mixed with fear and uneasiness, immediately attracted everyone's attention. But then, many people sneered at the corners of their mouths. The scoundrel has gone crazy again. It's probably because the internet cafe is open all night again. Some people lowered their heads and began to whisper. The bald teacher was stunned for a moment, his eyes narrowed, and he stared at the student he least wanted to pay attention to, Zhang Cheng. Her long, messy hair was just so fluffy, her face was tired and frightened, and she was still looking around in confusion. His stern eyes were not noticed by him at all, and the 10,000-point explosion hid nothing. Snapped. The bald teacher slammed the book in his hand. Zhang Cheng, stand up. Here it is. The confused Zhang Cheng finally came back to his senses slowly and looked at the familiar yet unfamiliar sight in front of him. The ponytails in the front row, the backs of the full audience, the podium, the blackboard, and the old ceiling fan that creaked as if it was about to fall down. That snarling bald head looks a bit familiar. What is it called? I go. Isn't it the bald teacher who is the head teacher of the third year of high school? Zhang Cheng. Seemingly seeing Zhang Cheng still unresponsive, the bald teacher called his name again, and the volume increased a lot. Everyone turned their heads and looked at the seats for poor students. The 7th row of the 4th group is the place closest to the brooms and garbage baskets. Zhang Cheng's deskmate also sensed something was wrong in the atmosphere, hid the novel, and pushed him with his elbow. Zhang Cheng stood up, but his heart was still in a mess. The shouts, bargains, laughter and curses all disappeared like memories in a dream. Yes, you don't want to study or take the college entrance examination. But don't disturb the class for me. It's the last 2 months, I don't want to say anything more, you can take care of yourself. After brewing for a long time, the bald teacher actually calmed down his anger and said, just stand there. Zhang Cheng said nothing, but memories came flooding back. He is a poor student. Fighting and smoking were commonplace. Internet cafes and game arcades are common places. After all, In the third year of high school, Zhang Cheng was interviewed countless times, his parents came several times, and he reviewed himself in a meeting with thousands of people. Zhang Cheng finally calmed down a little, but he sneaked out to play games online in the evening during self-study, and he still couldn't. A common thing. But if they don't make trouble or cause trouble, they just don't study or make progress, the teacher won't bother to care about them. If you don't cause trouble in class, even if you are fast asleep and no one cares about you, you will still be in the last row anyway. If you turn in a blank paper for your homework, no one will care about it, and you will have copied someone else's work. On the podium, the bald teacher didn't look at Zhang Cheng again and just talked about the test paper questions. Zhang Cheng also remembered that the bald teacher's surname was Zhang, and his given name was Zhang Ming. Because he had gone bald in his early years, and his surname was Zhang, he was comparable to Mr. Zhang during the Republic of China. Many students privately called him Bald Zhang. Zhang Ming taught Chinese and was the head teacher. He preached a lot and took care of things a lot. At that time, Zhang Cheng still disliked him. It was only 5 or 6 years after graduating from high school that I heard that Zhang Ming could no longer teach because of cancer. The blackboard at the back is a bulletin board that was published a long time ago. Some of the words are blurred, but the most conspicuous one is the countdown. There are still 60 days until the 2011 college entrance examination. Even a poor student will feel moved when he sees this sentence. There is not much time left to play. What should I do if I can't get into college? Let's be a mixed society. Zhang Cheng still remembers his life trajectory in the future. He failed to get into college, which disappointed his parents. When other classmates packed up their luggage and rushed to university in September, he had already packed up his luggage and headed for Zhangzhou. A distant relative opened a small factory in Zhangzhou. His parents persuaded Zhang Cheng to follow him and learn how to work. Zhang Cheng could feel the sadness of living under someone else's roof now that he thought about it. Later, Zhang Cheng didn't want to offend others, so he rented a house by himself and went to run errands. He stopped playing games and helped distribute leaflets and sell computer accessories in the computer mall. Later, he became a master and learned to repair computers. What should I do if I don't have a diploma? I can only live slowly by relying on words and craftsmanship. Zhang Cheng touched the bag and suddenly wanted to smoke a cigarette. The cigarette is still in the familiar pocket. After class, his desk mate Qin Jin smiled and pulled Zhang Cheng to sit down. You just sleep when you want to. Why are you so crazy? I didn't even read the book. The book is naturally a novel with a yellowed cover. I don't know if it is a real work by Master Yi, but the content is similar to the cover. There's nothing I can do about it. During adolescence, I tend to be restless. Zhang Cheng smiled and said, You kid, stop reading pornographic novels and don't let your sperm get to your head. Qin Jin groaned, Nonsense, why don't you read some novels? Let's go out and smoke a cigarette. Zhang Cheng quickly handed Qin Jin a piece of white sand and walked out of the classroom. The next class is Zhang Ming's Chinese class, and he is still explaining problems to the students on the podium. Although Zhang Cheng is not motivated, as a poor student, he still has some self-cultivation and will not smoke in the classroom. After all, the school is strict. It's not good to be interviewed about your parents when the college entrance examination is approaching. After leaving the classroom, the two went to the toilet familiarly and smoked cigarettes. Beige cigarettes cost less than 5 yuan and taste a bit bitter. Zhang Cheng blew out a smoke ring, looked at Qin Jin, and asked, Mirror, what do you want to do after graduation? What else can we do? We are going to work in Guangdong province. Who told us we can't study? Then, give birth to a baby in 2 years. Haha, not so fast. Zhang Cheng stopped for a moment and turned to look at the bright sky in the distance. If we follow the trajectory of his previous life, Qin Jin, who has a spermatozoan, worked for 2 years, messed with a girl, and returned to Guangdong. He gave birth to a son and took a wife. Fortunately, the family was familiar with the business, and he slowly started a building materials business. He also opened a small shop and ran business, and his life was not bad. Whether you are admitted to college or not, you all have your own rhythm of life. Maybe he went abroad and I left the province, he took the postgraduate entrance examination and I smoked tobacco. Maybe he took the civil service exam and I became a salesman, he became a small white-collar worker and I became a small boss. Of course, students who are admitted to college should remember to have a good relationship with their classmates who are not admitted to college. When you graduate from college, you can go work in their companies. The probability of such a joke being realized is not high. But Zhang Cheng no longer wants to follow the path of his previous life. Throwing the remaining cigarette letter at his feet, Zhang Cheng raised his foot and stepped on it, blew out a smoke ring, and said slowly, "I want to go to a university." Qin Jin was in a daze, looking at the sloppy tablemate in front of him. That resolute voice and the sudden look in his eyes made his face look strange. "Chengji, did you take the wrong medicine? The second class is about test papers as usual. But Zhang Cheng has already regained his composure from the confusion of the last moment. After all, in terms of memory, it was already many years ago. He began to listen carefully to the lecture, for the first time. This dictation comes from Pippa Xing, the last two sentences of, "I sighed when I heard the Pippa, and groaned again when I heard the words." Everyone is familiar with this, and only 3 people in the class did not write at dictation. Zhang Ming gave the topic. Suddenly, his eyes glanced at the 4 groups and 7 rows. Qin Jin was immersed in reading as usual. The books were stacked high, blocking him tightly. However, Zhang Cheng stretched his neck and was listening carefully. "Zhang Cheng, tell me what the last 2 sentences are." Zhang Chengjung was listening carefully. He didn't expect that Bald Zhang would call his name, and he was stunned for a moment. "I have used Chinese knowledge after graduation. I can recite it. I guess I can't remember most of it except, there is bright moonlight in front of the bed, it is probably frost on the ground." He lowered his head and glanced at the Chinese language book in his hand. It was very new. Zhang Cheng hurriedly flipped through it. With great luck, he turned to Pippa Xing in just a few clicks. I counted the lines at a glance, and within a few seconds I found the second page. It turns out to be this sentence. As if waiting for Zhang Cheng to turn over the book, Bald Zhang was not in a hurry. "We are both fallen people at the end of the world. How can we meet each other before?" Zhang Cheng stood up and replied. The loud voice was refreshing to other students in the class. "Zhang Cheng, when did your voice become so loud? It smells a bit confident. But aren't you a book reader?" For a moment, the students in the front row started talking quietly. However, Zhang Cheng didn't pay attention to this at this time, his memory was running crazily. The Zunyang River sees off guests on the first night, and the maple leaves and flowers are rustling in the autumn. The host dismounts and the passengers are on the boat, raising the wine to drink without the orchestra. Line after line, even the punctuation marks seen in that number of lines, are clearly engraved in his mind, as if that page of text is engraved in the most prominent place in his memory. Is this the legendary photographic memory? The benefits of rebirth were finally his turn. Open the text. "What a few people do to the country," King Wei of Liang said. "What a few people do to the country, they only do their best. Hanoi is dangerous." Here is another article, "Encouragement to learning." The gentleman says, "Learning is something you can't stop doing. Green comes from blue and is green from blue, ice comes from water and is cold from water." At a glance, as long as it is printed in my mind, it will be clear to me. No matter how I think about it, it will be easy to memorize it. It seems to be getting rich, Zhang Cheng thought. Zhang Ming nodded. "Very good, Zhang Cheng. I hope you can put your mind back to your studies, although, it's only 2 months. Can 2 months change anything? It's hard." Zhang Cheng majored in science, and was the best in Chinese. He could get over 60 points in the test, and basically scored in the 20s in mathematics. He relied entirely on English. He got over 50 points when he was lucky, and over 30 points when he was unlucky. As for the science comprehensive examination, I didn't even recognize the symbols. After the 3rd model, I scored a total of 255 points in the 6 subjects. It's less than the score of 2 courses for top students. I hope he works hard, gets a score of 3,560, and chooses a vocational and technical college that is even worse. Hongju Technical School is good, and Jeju Lanxiang is also good. I will. Zhang Cheng was a little confused at this time and responded in a low voice. In terms of character, Zhang Ming is very good. He has been disappointed with poor students like Zhang Cheng and others in the past few years, but he has never despised or suppressed him. Even if something happened, he always wanted not to affect their future. Then let's move on to the next question. After signaling Zhang Cheng to sit down, Zhang Ming continued to speak. At this time, Zhang Cheng, whose brain cells were more active than ever, was still agitated in his heart. He had read a lot of Rebirth novels, but since God allowed him to live again and gave him a magical skill that he could never forget, Zhang Cheng naturally wanted to get into a good university and have a taste of university. Xuimu and Beijing University don't dare to hope. Can't they still pass the ordinary 985 and 211 exams? Zhang Cheng licked his dry lips. A poor student with a score of 255 had ambitions for the first time. Zhang Cheng made some calculations in his mind. With photographic memory in hand, it shouldn't be difficult to improve Chinese and English. Well, let's just count them as 110 points. Mathematics is a bit difficult, but I think I can remember the formulas and other things and be familiar with them. I think 90 points is okay. Comprehensive theory. I knew I would have chosen liberal arts. Zhang Cheng was depressed. Logically speaking, without understanding, it is probably difficult to improve just by relying on memory. Time was running out, so Zhang Cheng ignored Bald Yang's lecture on the test papers and took out all the Chinese textbooks from the first to the third year of high school and started reading them one by one. A text in more than 20 seconds was no difficulty for him now. By the time the bell rang at the end of the class, Zhang Cheng had memorized all the famous ancient Chinese articles in 6 Chinese textbooks. At this moment, it doesn't matter if it's the Analects of Confucius or Mencius, Tang poetry or song poetry, as long as it's in a book, he can't even write the punctuation wrong. Dang 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 dang, the familiar recess drill sounded. Let's go, let's do some exercises. Qin Jin put away the book and pulled Zhang Cheng to leave. Zhang Cheng doesn't want to go at all right now. Time is tight. Can't he memorize all the English words in these 20 minutes? If you don't go, it's a waste of time. Zhang Cheng put away his Chinese books and picked up English. Qin Jin looked at Zhang Cheng's upright look in disbelief, feeling like a top student who coldly refused to relax. But if it weren't for the unconventional hair, he would really believe it. Chengji, don't go crazy. We are not good at studying. Let's go to Guangdong province to work together. We will have company. If you don't go, it's impossible to work part-time. I will never work part-time again in this life. Well, the college entrance examination is coming soon. What are you thinking about? How many points can you get by studying? If you really want to take the college entrance examination, why don't we just repeat a year together? We have company. Qin Jin scratched his head. Zhang Cheng waved his hand. No, I don't want to repeat the course. As the exciting inter-class exercise music played, everyone in the classroom went to the playground one after another. A certain classmate shouted at the door, "Hurry up, it's time to do exercises, and you need to be named." Qin Jin pulled Zhang Cheng up and said, "Let's go." Zhang Cheng had no choice but to put down his book and follow him. It was already a bit hot in April, and the sun was high in the sky, making the entire campus bright. On the playground, there were crowds of people, and most of them were wearing blue and red school uniforms under the black mass. Since it was Monday, most students were wearing school uniforms. The school uniform is ugly and Zhang Cheng doesn't want to wear it. After so many years, Zhang Cheng naturally couldn't remember where his class was in line, so he just followed Qin Jin in small steps to the last line. At first glance, most of them were boys and only 6 or 7 girls. Their faces still looked familiar, but Zhang Cheng couldn't remember most of their names. Some people say that the friendship between classmates in high school is deeper, but that is all based on small-scale and compatible relationships. Zhang Cheng had poor grades, was a slut, and didn't have many friends in his class. After graduating from high school, he cut off contact with these classmates and only kept his number with Qin Jin. Now let's start the 8th set of radio gymnastics, walking in place. 1, 2. Zhang Cheng had long forgotten how to do exercises, but fortunately, he was in the last column, looking at the gestures of others, and followed the trend. In his heart, Zhang Cheng was still thinking about his study plan. For the first time, Zhang Cheng was extremely eager to learn and read. He has already suffered a loss once, and it is impossible for him to suffer a second time. The overall study plan is divided into 2 steps. The first step is to memorize a wide range of knowledge, including high school textbooks, tutoring, and modern Chinese dictionaries, English dictionaries. In addition, there are notes, test papers, wrong question sets, etc. You can borrow notes and wrong question sets from classmates. Anyway, Zhang Cheng is fast and can memorize them in one class. Then, the second step is to understand. The knowledge must be understood and integrated. This step requires frequent questioning and practice. With things on his mind, when the gymnastics was over, Zhang Cheng's hands were still dancing. Let's go. Qin Jin quickly pulled Zhang Cheng away. If this continues, Zhang Cheng will probably make a fool of himself. Zhang Cheng came back to his senses and followed Qin Jin just a few steps before he saw someone he was still familiar with. President, can I borrow your Chinese notes? Zhang Cheng paused and asked the girl with a ponytail in front of him. This is one of the few girls in Zhang Cheng's class. He has an oval face shape, which is more delicate and elegant. He is nearly 1.7 meters tall, has a good figure, well proportioned, and is neither fat nor thin. Although she applied less makeup and simply tied her hair into a ponytail, she still couldn't hide her beautiful face. She is the squad leader Yu Xinren. My math, physics and chemistry scores are not very good, but my Chinese and English scores have long been ranked first in the class. Of course, being number 1 in the class is not considered high compared to the rest of the grade. After all, Zhang Cheng's grade 3 9th class is just an ordinary class. Yu Xinren has always been easygoing and will not look down on others, so she readily agreed, okay, but I often have to review myself, so you have to pay me back during self-study tomorrow morning. Okay, Zhang Cheng gestured, feeling a little happy. Yu Xinren's notes were praised by teacher Zhang Ming. They collected many error-prone sounds, words, idioms, etc., as well as appreciation of ancient Chinese prose and collection of good sentences. What are the techniques for writing essays? Zhang Cheng ignored Qin Jin, who was at a loss, and walked towards the classroom at the same pace as Yu Xinren. Zhang Cheng's composition is relatively poor, and his impression score is generally around 30. Although he has many years of social experience, Zhang Cheng still doesn't understand how to write an article that satisfies the examiner. Yu Xinren thought for a while. I think the composition for the college entrance examination is nothing more than these words. Xing Shen Yi Ti, Xing, refers to the composition, because it is usually about 800 words, and the entire article structure should be small and precise. The current argumentative style is generally 3-paragraph or 2-paragraph. Qin Jin on the side felt confused, patted Zhang Cheng, and ran away first. Seeing that Zhang Cheng was listening attentively, Yu Xinren also slowed down and spoke slowly. God actually refers to the literary talent of the entire article. This can be achieved by accumulating more famous quotes and classic stories. Meaning means the purpose of the article, which must be in line with the characteristics of the times and demonstrate positive energy. As for the style, it means that the writing should be beautiful and nice, and the paper should be crisp and clear, so that the marking teacher can read it comfortably. After Yu Xinren finished speaking, the two of them had already gone up the stairs and were almost to the classroom. Zhang Cheng was a little helpless, especially when it came to writing. The ghostly characters had not changed much, and this was extremely difficult to change. Okay, thank you, monitor. I'll treat you to a meal now that your Chinese has improved. Zhang Cheng said sincerely. Yu Xinren smiled and said, we are all classmates, so why are you so polite? If you don't understand anything, you can ask me. Okay. Zhang Cheng was naturally unpretentious. When he arrived in the classroom, Yu Xinren took out the Chinese notes he had taken in 2 thick notebooks. Review well, come on. Zhang Cheng took the note. He was addicted to TikTok in his previous life and almost had to follow Ali Gay. Fortunately, he collected it quickly and encouraged himself, come on. As soon as I returned to my seat, the preparation bell for the 3rd period had already rang. It's math class. Chengji, have you really changed your gender? Qin Jin still looked in disbelief. You should take this time to review yourself. Zhang Cheng had already made up his mind. How could he go back to the old ways if he had to live his life again? Naturally, you have to live a wonderful life. Qin Jin curled his lips and said, I have no chance. Ignoring Qin Jin, Zhang Cheng opened the notes by himself. Books and ink are fragrant. The words are in rounded fonts, somewhat like rounded ones, but more beautiful. They are written neatly line by line, with red or blue writing marking key points in many places. Peers, chai, deprivation, kai, expropriation, kai, tattoo, punishment, ching. To cause trouble, yes, to hinder, hinder, to be languid, dejected. July fire. It means the weather is getting cooler. Notes are recorded by date. Although they are not recorded once a day, they are basically recorded every other day. There are 2 thick books of notes since the 3rd year of high school. No wonder people get high scores in exams because they spend time and energy studying. Compared to Zhang Cheng himself, the high school Chinese language document that is as clean as his face is a reflection of his performance. After briefly reading a few pages, the class bell rang. Putting the notes aside temporarily, Zhang Cheng took the math book. Because the Model 3 exam has just been completed, I have been focusing on the test papers these days. This class will focus on the test papers as usual. Zhang Cheng's results are as follows. Chinese, 63 points. Mathematics, 32 points. English, 48 points. Physics, 36 points. Chemistry, 33 points. Biology, 43 points. With a total score of 255, he ranked last in the class. Zhang Cheng really doesn't know math. Basically, he knows how to do it. Points are awarded individually for multiple choice questions and fill in the blank questions. The big questions that follow are basically confusing, unless the paper is particularly easy. The math teacher's name is Chen Guoqing. He was born in the 1970s. He looks a bit gentle. His black glasses always seem to fall off. He speaks in a low voice and is slow and methodical. This time the math paper of the 3rd module is relatively simple. Several top students in the top class got full marks. Chen Hao from our class also got 136 points. Chen Guoqing is good at mathematics. In addition to teaching the ordinary class of class 9, he also taught a top student class. While talking, Chen Hao, the math class representative, handed out the test papers. The test paper Zhang Cheng got made him unable to bear to read it. In the upper right corner is a red 32, with 2 lines heavily drawn below. This score is not even a fraction of others. The paper is also very ugly. The ABCD of the multiple choice questions are not written well. The ink is printed very widely, making the paper look dirty. The multiple choice questions were basically confusing, and I got 4 of them right. I only filled in the blanks for 3, but I couldn't answer the other questions. I got 2 of them right. In addition, for the big questions on the back, only the first 2 questions had some symbols and numbers written on them, and the lines were twisted. It's so twisted that it probably gave the teacher who corrected the paper a headache. For the next few questions, I just wrote a solution. Zhang Cheng was a little ashamed. In these years of studying, he had really read about dogs. With the magical skill of photographic memory, Zhang Cheng looked line by line. I just feel that those numbers are unusually clear and active in my mind. I am performing rapid calculations in my mind, and all the results are immediately apparent. Fn equals 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 n 1 n element of n, then Fn plus 1 Fn equals. In Zhang Cheng's mind, 1 plus 1/2, Zhang Cheng's mind immediately displays 1.5, which can also be immediately converted to 3/2, and then added to 11/6, 1.83333333. It seems that Rebirth has brought Zhang Cheng far more than just a photographic memory. 886 times 886 equals 784,996. Get the answer in seconds. 666 equals 1,010,632,056,840. Okay, this calculation is a bit heavy, and it takes a few seconds to react. However, after several experiments, Zhang Cheng also discovered that when faced with these functional problems, he could not directly calculate the answers in his mind. Instead, it still relies on problem-solving ideas. Although it has flaws, Zhang Cheng is still very happy. This is another boost for his hope of getting into a 985 university. Chen Guoqing began his lecture unhurriedly. Whether it was simple or difficult, he explained everything in detail. Zhang Cheng only experimented for a minute before he immediately gave up and followed Chen Guoqing to solve the questions one by one. The first multiple choice question, but Zhang Cheng just saw it. This multiple choice question should be very simple. In fact, it means substituting n plus 1. As he spoke, Chen Guoqing listed the calculation formulas on the blackboard. It is known that Fn equals 1 plus 1 half plus 1/3 plus 1/3 n minus 1. We can get Fn plus 1 equals 1 plus 1 half plus 1/3 plus 1/3 n minus 1 plus 1/3 n plus 1 minus 1. Then, subtracting the two equations, Chen Guoqing took the trouble to list the terms. Zhang Cheng also understood in his heart, so it was like this. In Zhang Cheng's mind, he instantly completed the several terms in the ellipses, subtracted the two terms, and eliminated the repetitions, leaving only the extra terms. Although the independent variable, n, exists, it does not affect the calculation of numbers in Zhang Cheng's mind. Then, the answer is choice C. Chen Guoqing wrote the result. Who else doesn't understand the solution to this question? Most people have no problem with this simple calculation, and Zhang Cheng also understood it. After everyone was silent for a long time, Chen Guoqing continued to talk about the second question. Zhang Cheng also continued to follow, because he had not read books in some years and had done the questions. When he first saw these questions, Zhang Cheng was a little confused. But now that he had entered a full-body study state, Zhang Cheng realized for the first time that he was not stupid at all and could understand. These problem-solving ideas became vivid instantly with Chen Guoqing's step-by-step answers. But after all, Zhang Cheng still didn't master a lot of mathematical knowledge, and he didn't even study it at all. The later questions began to become more difficult. Even after listening to the lectures, Zhang Cheng was confused about some knowledge points. But at this moment Zhang Cheng was not distracted and absorbed the knowledge flowing from the questions wholeheartedly. Sitting in the last row, with the tall stack of books, no one noticed Zhang Cheng's change. Even Qin Jin didn't care whether Zhang Cheng was attending the lecture or not. He became serious about reading without any distractions. By the time get out of class was over, Chen Guoqing had already talked about the first big topic. This is a function question that also involves vector and other knowledge. Chen Guoqing explained it in detail, but Zhang Cheng still lacked many knowledge points. Others may take it for granted that from A to B, it is easy to get C, but Zhang Cheng does not understand. Can't turn around. The entire class 9 was not very good at mathematics. Only Chen Hao and a few other students were slightly better. The rest were basically above or below the passing mark. Science and mathematics in high school are still a bit difficult. Many of the questions are changeable, and the knowledge points tested are mixed. Sometimes the difficult questions are almost like Olympiad questions. After class, everyone became silent and many started chatting. Chen Guoqing has a good temper and no one is afraid of him. But during class, no one dared to speak. Because mathematics is so difficult, everyone is afraid of being caught by Chen Guoqing to do the questions. Among the questions mentioned previously, Zhang Cheng still didn't understand two of them very well, so he immediately walked up with the test paper. Teacher, I don't understand this question a bit. Oh, which one? Mathematics teacher Chen Guoqing put his reading glasses on the bridge of his nose and took the book. Then he realized the strangeness of the voice and looked up. Zhang Cheng. Zhang Cheng smiled awkwardly. Teacher, you still remember me. First place and last place for 2 consecutive years, I'm impressed. Chen Guoqing said with a hint of saltiness, and turned to look at the question. Well, the last place can also be remembered. This is a typical yuan changing method. Chen Guoqing spoke unhurriedly and his voice was not high, but very steady. Oh, I see. Under Chen Guoqing's detailed explanation, Zhang Cheng's thinking suddenly changed. Zhang Cheng, if you want to improve your math scores, it's best to go through high school math carefully, do all the examples, and try to score some easy questions. Chen Guoqing expressed his gratitude to Zhang Cheng for taking the initiative to ask questions. The question was still very gratifying. After answering the question, he gave the instructions seriously. Okay. Zhang Cheng naturally responded and then left the podium. Many people in class 9 looked at Zhang Cheng coming back from the podium in a daze. Weird, Zhang Cheng, who relies entirely on mathematics, actually asks the teacher questions. Could it be that the sun is coming out from the west? Zhang Cheng didn't bother to pay attention to them. Because of his status as a poor student in his previous life and his arrogant appearance, he had no friends in the class. Later, he was not admitted to college and had no interactions with his classmates. Therefore, Zhang Cheng had no intention of making friends with them in this life. Returning to his seat, Zhang Cheng immediately picked up the first-grade mathematics and prepared to take a look at it first. Qin Jin suddenly felt that reading was boring. He looked at Zhang Cheng with some resentment in his eyes. We obviously agreed to go work together, but you secretly took it seriously. Have you changed your mind? Zhang Cheng turned a blind eye and read the book quickly. By the time the school bell rang, I had already flipped through more than 10 pages. I put the book away and continued to think about it. Sure enough, all the Chinese and mathematics knowledge I had read before could be remembered and came to my mind. Continuing to follow the rhythm of Chen Guoqing's lecture, Zhang Cheng felt even more strenuous. Especially the last two big questions, one about analytic geometry and the other about sequence, were not very clear to Zhang Cheng. After finishing the topic, there are still about 10 minutes left. Chen Guoqing asked everyone to sort out the wrong questions. If you have any questions, you can ask them freely. Zhang Cheng did not go up to ask questions this time. He already felt that his mathematical foundation still had many weaknesses. Just doing the questions will not achieve much effect. At the moment, Zhang Cheng picked up the math book and continued reading chapter by chapter. Zhang Cheng paid more attention to the examples in the book. You must go through it several times in your mind and compose some similar questions on your own so that you can fully understand it. The time when you devote yourself to studying always passes quickly, and before you know it, the morning is over. Because it was the senior year of high school, many students were meeting on campus or nearby for meals, and some even rented a house next to the school, just to prepare for the college entrance examination. Zhang Cheng's family lives in Nanchang, which is a bit far away from Guanggalan Middle School. Although my grades were not good, I still had lunch at school like other students. Let's go, Chengji, let's go eat. Qin Jin had been feeling uncomfortable for a long time after sitting for a long time. As soon as Chen Guoqing left, he immediately jumped up and pulled Zhang Chenggong to leave. I'm not going. Zhang Cheng shook his head and sat firmly in his position. At the beginning, the cafeteria was crowded, and it took a long time just to queue up. With all this time, I might as well read a book for a while. Taking out Yu Xinren's Chinese notebook, Zhang Cheng planned to read it for a while before going to have something to eat. Qin Jin was relatively thin and could not move Zhang Cheng. He felt extremely hurt at this moment. Okay, I'll go eat by myself. As he walked away, he took 2 steps and turned back, looking like an abandoned and resentful woman. After a while, all the classmates in the class were gone, and only Zhang Cheng was left. The quiet classroom with the noisy ceiling fan is very suitable for studying. Zhang Cheng has never been so eager to learn at any time. Especially with his photographic memory, he urgently needed more knowledge to fill his mind. 1 page, 2 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages. Wan Shou's notes were firmly remembered in the depths of Zhang Cheng's mind. As long as he recalled them for a moment, he quickly found his imprint. After studying like this, half an hour passed, and the classmates in the class came back one after another. Qin Jin also arrived at this time, with a depressed look on his face, and handed over the contents of the small white bag in his hand. Hey, I knew you wouldn't go to eat, so I brought you some big steamed buns. Okay, thanks, brother. Zhang Cheng was not polite. When he came to his senses, he happened to be a little hungry. The steamed buns were a bit cold and hard, and with the water on them, Zhang Cheng ate them quite deliciously. Qin Jin sat down and said, I feel like you are really crazy and don't even want to eat. Could it be that you are possessed by a ghost? Zhang Cheng was stunned for a moment. What are you thinking about, kid? Can't you say that I suddenly became enlightened? Have you had brain surgery? Quote. Zhang Cheng decided to ignore him. At noon, there were 58 people in the class, and about 2/3 of them did not go home. Some were lying down to rest, while others continued to read books. When Qin Jin saw Zhang Cheng starting to bite steamed buns and read a book again, he naturally knew in his heart that he was not just showing off, but was serious about it. He originally wanted to read a novel, but after thinking about it, he took out a math book and planned to read it too. Winking face, no. Those messy numbers, letters, and formulas popped up from all directions, spinning in circles in front of my eyes. Snapped. Jin lay on the book, closed his eyes and fell asleep. In the quiet corner, there are only the sounds of books being turned, and occasionally the sounds of burping dry steamed buns and snoring in sleep. After spending noon, Zhang Cheng had read through all of Yu Xinren's notes. The games are naturally great, and Zhang Cheng expects that his Chinese language skills will be improved by at least 20 or 30 points. After all, it's impossible to test all the original questions on the notes. In the remaining time, Zhang Cheng did not review any more, but squinted slightly. Although he was young, he stayed up all afternoon and felt somewhat sleepy. In the afternoon there are English and biology classes. The English class also taught test papers, but Zhang Cheng didn't listen to them. Instead, he took the high school English book and passed it all. I have memorized all the high school vocabulary, which is helpful for Zhang Cheng to understand a sentence. But in English, relying solely on vocabulary is not enough. There are also factors such as grammar, slang and so on. Moreover, a word may have many other extended meanings. If you just translate the English word into Chinese to understand it, you will not understand it. Coupled with the sometimes lengthy and inverted attributive in English, it is even more confusing. Zhang Cheng also understands that English is more particular about vocabulary and language sense, and these can only be learned through normal accumulation and practice. As for living things, the content of memory is also relatively large. Some people even think that biology has been attributed to the liberal arts, and geography should be attributed to the sciences. Therefore, Zhang Cheng memorized all high school biology, which gained him a bit of confidence. Looking at the pile of books in front of me, most of them are textbooks or test papers. There are some tutorial books that I bought together when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school. It's time to buy some supplementary books. 5 years of college entrance examination, 3 years of simulations, etc. You have to prepare a set of these, right? Zhang Cheng planned to go home for dinner, buy some tutorial books, and get a haircut. Afternoon get out of class ends at 6 o'clock, and evening self-study is from 7 to 10 o'clock. From Zhang Cheng's point of view, high school, especially senior year, is really tiring. He studies, does questions, and takes exams all day long, all in preparation for the college entrance examination. But after actually staying for this day, Zhang Cheng still felt very fulfilled. I don't have a smartphone with me, so I can't read Douyin, Bilibili, Zhihu or Weibo, but I don't feel empty. Zhang Cheng didn't feel any loss since he didn't have time to go to internet cafes or play games. Reading, and only reading, can make Zhang Cheng feel fulfilled and satisfied. Riding an old bicycle, Zhang Cheng quickly arrived at the Cross Street district. He first found a barber shop and had his hair cut into a short crew cut. The original non-mainstream outfit changed a lot in one go. Still a bit handsome. Ignoring the immatureness of his clothes for the moment, Zhang Cheng looked at himself in the mirror and was quite satisfied. He has a pretty good figure, neither fat nor thin. At 1.80 meters tall, he is considered tall in the team. After paying the money with satisfaction, Zhang Cheng went to the bookstore to browse. Pengcheng Bookstore. This bookstore is the largest and most popular bookstore in Cross Street. As soon as you enter the door, you feel that there are piles of supplementary books and test questions. Further inside, there are some literature, reference books and other books. Obviously, it specializes in teaching guidance books for elementary schools, middle schools and high schools. There were more people at this time, and Zhang Cheng felt a little depressed when walking in the narrow corridor. The tutoring books in the college entrance examination series are relatively obvious. For example, the 3-year simulation of the 5-year college entrance examination is a thick one, which is placed in the most conspicuous position. After a brief flipping through, Zhang Cheng first took 2 volumes of mathematics and physics, and a 3-year simulation of the 5-year college entrance examination. It wasn't that he didn't want to take more, but that his wallet was empty. If you have time, come here to read. Looking at the mountain-like pile of tutorial books, Zhang Cheng felt a little hungry. But buying them all is naturally impossible. Zhang Cheng had a half-day break on the weekend, and Zhang Cheng planned to come here to have for free. Both books have more than 200 pages and are very thick. After putting them in your school bag, your shoulders will obviously feel heavy. Zhang Cheng's home is in Nanchang, which is considered a suburb of the city. His father, Zhang Yiping, had been engaged in the sales business of White Lotus since he was a child. He saved some money and bought a small store here with an attic room on the second floor. Fortunately, the height of the second floor is not bad, so it doesn't feel depressing at all. My mother, Chen Ru, opened a small shop on the first floor, and she also received some insole samples for processing in her free time. Counting past lives, Zhang Cheng has not been home for some time. At that time, I was wandering outside and accomplishing nothing. I rarely came back except during the Chinese New Year. Feeling timid near home. Despite the moment of hesitation, Zhang Cheng chose to let go of the memory of his past life, put down his bicycle, and strode into the store. The canteen is not big, and the room is filled with daily necessities, snacks and the like. Back, Chen Ru was busy working on the demo. She looked up and saw Zhang Cheng coming back and called out. For a moment, I felt that my son who came back today was a little different from usual. Yeah, Mom. Chen Ru didn't get up either. The food is ready, go up and eat it. Zhang Cheng responded. Although he had something to say in his heart, at this moment, he couldn't say a word. Going upstairs, there was a bowl of green vegetables, a bowl of steamed eggs, and a small plate of soup on the small square table next to the kitchen. After a rare whole day of studying, he only had some steamed buns for lunch. Zhang Cheng, who was already hungry, ate alone. When the meal was ready, Zhang Cheng went downstairs, replaced Chen Ru, and stayed at the shop by himself to let his mother eat. Sitting in front of the store, Zhang Cheng took out his math tutorial book and started reading. From the corner of his eye, he was paying attention to the situation in the store. Zhang Cheng's powerful mental arithmetic ability allows Zhang Cheng to completely eliminate the need for manuscript paper, and all calculation processes can be presented in his mind. Chapter 1, Gathering. The concept and expression of sets. This chapter seemed to have little calculation volume and was quite conceptual, which made Zhang Cheng flip through the book very quickly. Occasionally, guests would come to buy things. Zhang Cheng was busy reading a book while observing the movement with his peripheral vision. However, most of the people who came to buy things now were snacks, ranging from a few cents to a few yuan, and Zhang Chengwa didn't need to worry about it. Chen Ru finished her meal quickly and came down. She saw Zhang Cheng sitting at the door of the store, reading a book seriously. I felt a little strange in my heart. After all, I had never seen Zhang Cheng reading here before. Mom, I don't have any money, and I want to buy some reference books. Zhang Cheng closed the book and put it in his school bag. Chen Ru looked at Zhang Cheng and didn't answer. In her mind, she thought that Zhang Cheng was planning to find a way to get money to go to the internet cafe again. Chengji, the college entrance examination is about to take place. You have to calm down. Chen Ru sighed and said. Zhang Cheng was stunned for a moment, then he understood and didn't mention the money again, and replied, okay. The image of not studying and loving playing games in internet cafes cannot be reversed in an instant. That's all, I have no money so I can go prostitute for free. Zhang Cheng went upstairs first, put a thick modern Chinese dictionary, 5th edition, into his school bag, and then came down. I'm going to study in the evening. Chen Ru responded without saying anything more. The evening self-study near the third year of high school is naturally no better than that of the first and second grade students. Sometimes exams are organized, and sometimes there are lectures on topics, but most of the time, students mainly focus on answering questions and reviewing. In the evening, Chinese teacher Zhang Ming leads the class. He never liked studying in the evening, and usually asked everyone to study quietly. If you have any questions, you can come to him at the podium. At other times, he would not stop students from studying any courses. After reading Yu Xinren's notes, Zhang Cheng took out the Modern Chinese Dictionary, 5th edition. The red cover is still new. Opening the cover, I saw it read, compiled by the Dictionary Editorial Office of the Institute of Linguistics, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, The Commercial Press, Beijing, 2005. For the first time, Zhang Cheng turned over the first page seriously and read it word by word, paragraph by paragraph. From the reprint instructions to the table of contents and examples, to the pronunciation, meaning, and meaning of words. The book contains more than 65,000 words. Zhang Cheng believes that from now on he will rarely encounter words he does not recognize. The dictionary is very thick, nearly 2,000 pages. Zhang Cheng also read it very carefully, taking notes and understanding at the same time. He didn't read 10 lines at a time, and it took him almost half a minute to finish reading one page. Acridine A. Azine Akan name, a type of organic compound, with a ring structure and containing one or several nitrogen atoms, such as. Although he only read it for a while, Zhang Cheng felt that he knew so many characters and words for the first time. It was very interesting, especially because many of the words involved all walks of life, subjects, and fields. Just reading the explanations is already interesting, but what if we delve deeper into these areas to learn more? Zhang Cheng only felt that he didn't know how to study in the past and wasted his youth and time. Qin Jin was reading a novel on the side, and Zhang Cheng looked at the dictionary with concentration on his face. No matter how good the novel was, it was boring to read. I could only take out the Chinese language book and read it with a frown. But looking at the constipated expression, you can tell how hard it was for Qin Jin to watch. By the time they took a break, Qin Jin was already dizzy. He put his arm around Zhang Cheng's shoulder and said painfully, "Chengji, you have really changed. You can actually read a dictionary and still enjoy it. A dictionary is the best reference book. Once you know this, I believe there will be no problems with the previous questions." In the Chinese language test paper, the first 4 multiple-choice questions are generally about pronunciation, typos, idioms, language errors, etc. Each question is worth 3 points, which is easy to get and easy to make mistakes. TCH, it's so thick. What's the use of reading it? You might as well read the collection of wrong questions. Qin Jin then pointed at Yu Xinren's notes. Have you finished reading the senior monitor's notes? Why don't you just show me? Look, I'll pay her back after the evening self-study. Zhang Cheng also felt his eyes were a little dry at this moment, stopped reading, and folded a page in the dictionary. Page P132. I just saw this section of Kang. It still takes a lot of time to read them all. Zhang Cheng stretched out and said, "Let's go outside for a walk." The school is located on the outskirts of the county town, and it seems very quiet at night. Dim street lights, mottled tree shadows, and students coming and going. Zhang Cheng fell in love with the feeling of campus. This was something he envied every time he walked into Zhangzhou University. But now he has another chance. He still remembers that when he first learned to repair computers, his favorite thing was repairing computers for the girls at Zhangzhou University. Because girls don't know much about computers, whether it's reinstalling the system or replacing parts, it's very smooth. Mirror, please accept your efforts these 2 months and work hard together. Don't regret it in the future. Zhang Cheng didn't light up a cigarette and simply walked around the campus. Qin Jin pouted, "I have no hope. Master, consolidate and practice some basic and familiar knowledge, and try to get into college or something." Qin Jin's score is not much different from Zhang Cheng's, but if he can get more than 340 points, it is estimated that there will be no problem in junior college. No, you've only had 2 months. How much can we improve? Aren't you on the same level as me? Qin Jin chuckled. Zhang Cheng smiled and said no more. Sorry, I'm sorry. After the evening self-study was over, Zhang Cheng packed up his school bag and handed Yu Xinren's notes back to her. Finish watching. Take note of it. Okay. Yu Xinren took back the book, smiled slightly, turned and left. Although the two were in the same class, they were actually not familiar with each other. After returning home, Zhang Cheng started burning the midnight oil again. As usual, Chen Ru cooked a portion of lean meat and egg soup to supplement Zhang Cheng's nutrition when he returned from his late self-study. Only this time, I saw Zhang Cheng reading a book at the desk very seriously. Don't look at it too late. Take a shower and go to bed early. I know, thank you, Mom. You've had your hair cut, and you look more energetic. Chen Ru touched Zhang Cheng's head. Zhang Cheng sipped the soup and said, well, I was too sloppy in the past, but I won't be anymore. That's good. The college entrance examination is coming soon. Just calm down and prepare well. If you really can't pass the exam, your father has told you to go to Zhangzhou to learn a trade from your uncle. I see. Zhang Cheng knew that that was the path of the previous life, but it would not be the path of this life. After a brief wash, Zhang Cheng began his memory work again. By 12 o'clock, 2/3 of it was completed. The next morning, it was the last few pages. A periodic table of elements and a map of China. The entire dictionary has been firmly memorized in Zhang Cheng's mind. Language literacy skills, get. Zhang Cheng gently closed the 5th edition of the Modern Chinese Dictionary and put it back on the bookshelf. From now on, please call me Little Prince with a rare word. That what? Lonely and colluding, walking alone and enlightened. The rolling melons and melons are regarded as a model, the dragons are moving, and the horns are in the corners. What? Only, Zhuan, come on. Comma, so easy. Mom no longer has to worry about my ability to read and write. Carrying his heavy school bag, Zhang Cheng was ready to go to school. At 7:10 in the morning, you have to study by yourself. Within a day, Zhang Cheng got used to this pace of life. Chen Ru prepared breakfast early, an egg and a bowl of lean meat noodles. Why are you reviewing so late? Chen Ru scolded after putting down the noodles. Zhang Cheng moved his face and said, well, the college entrance examination is coming soon, and I want to give it a try. You can't go to bed after 1 o'clock. Chen Ru sat on the edge and watched him eat. As long as you have the desire to study, your parents won't force you to work. We can also study for a junior college. After graduating from a junior college, you are considered to have gone to university. It is always easier to find a job. Chen Ruk remembered that the daughter of her neighbor Lao Zongtu had gone to college and was now a teacher. Okay. Zhang Cheng nodded. After shaving his head, Zhang Cheng's overall energy improved a lot, which made Chen Ru feel a little stunned. My baby feels really different from before. Mom, the food you cook is delicious. Zhang Cheng raised his lips slightly and looked at Chen Ru. If the food at school is not delicious, you can come home to eat at noon. It's also close by bicycle. Chen Ru said as if he didn't eat well at school. No, I won't be back for lunch or dinner. It's not long before the college entrance examination. Zhang Cheng shook his head. Chen Ru paused and agreed, that's fine. When Zhang Cheng finished his meal and was about to leave, Chen Ru stopped him again. This is 200 yuan. Take it and eat better at school. The money is not big money, but the small money collected in the store, 250 yuan bills, and a few 20 and 10 yuan bills. Zhang Cheng instantly felt some sand in his eyes, blinked hard, and took the money. Thank you, Mom. Chen Ru smiled and touched his head. Thank you for nothing, study hard. After getting on the bicycle, Zhang Cheng gathered his emotions. His next task was still very heavy, even with the plug-in of photographic memory and super calculation. Because time is a little short. In 2 months, he had to improve comprehensively in 6 subjects. Moreover, for science, you really don't need to be able to calculate. If you don't understand it well and can't find ideas for solving problems, it's just a calculator. I didn't even know what to look at for a long time. Chengji, why are you pedaling so fast? When he was approaching school, the thin Qin Jin rode his bike hard to catch up. Zhang Cheng glanced at his electronic watch and said, we're going to be late. What are you afraid of when studying on your own? Aren't you so early too? You didn't force me. Qin Jin rode forward with a panda eye. I didn't sleep for half the night. What are you thinking about? Zhang Cheng said funny. Qin Jin didn't say anything. When the two of them parked the car and walked to the classroom together, he said depressedly, you've changed. There's no point in going to the internet cafe alone. Then come and review with me. Zhang Cheng patted him on the shoulder and said with a smile. Qin Jin said, I don't even know what to review. I wanted to read a book yesterday, but I felt sleepy as soon as I touched the book. It's like my brain is mushy. Then, he scratched his head again and said, why are you reading so seriously now and not being distracted? As good friends and roommates for 3 years, others were secretly working hard, but Qin Jin himself was also shocked. Zhang Cheng thought for a while, if you want to review, I think you can start with Chinese and English to improve your scores in these 2 subjects. These 2 subjects do not require scientific thinking, and for Qin Jin, there is the possibility of rapid improvement. I think so. My own level is worse than yours. You can also ask the class representative of our class. Zhang Cheng laughed to himself. Although there is a plug-in, Zhang Cheng himself is not sure how many points he can get in the exam. You said you were looking for Yu Xinren and Zhang Peng. Qin Jin backed down as soon as he heard this. It's not like you don't know about Zhang Peng's behavior. There's no point in asking him. As the college entrance examination approaches, few people will be so enthusiastic. Then read the book first and ask the teacher if you don't understand. Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes at him and said speechlessly. When he arrived at class, Zhang Cheng stopped when he passed by Yu Xinren's seat and said, "President, can I borrow your composition tutorial book to read?" Yu Xinren was preparing to read English silently at this moment. When she heard Zhang Cheng's question, she was stunned for a moment, but she still nodded and handed the book over. "Okay, return it to me as soon as possible." "Thank you." Zhang Cheng thanked him and returned to his seat. Qin Jin was a little embarrassed and said, "Chengji, how dare you ask her to borrow books?" Zhang Cheng paused for a moment, and suddenly thought that at this time, everyone was in their third year of high school, and there were quite a few shy people like Qin Jin. Some of them didn't even dare to talk to girls. What's wrong with that? Zhang Cheng shook his head and opened the book, How to Get a Perfect Score in the College Entrance Examination Essay. I looked at the catalog and sorted it out from theory to practice, composition type, structure, title, crest, pig belly, leopard tail, and also sorted out some golden sentences, famous quotes, etc. However, from Zhang Cheng's current point of view, these so-called full-score essays are still a bit simple. After all, it is only about 800 words long, so there is not much expansion. But generally speaking, essays that can get high scores have their own unique features. Concept, structure, language style, etc., most of them can make people shine. Okay, let's start reading books. Zhang Cheng devoted himself to reading this tutorial book while taking advantage of this morning self-study class. Another good book has been printed in my mind. Well, turning through books is so boring. In the next week, Zhang Cheng completed the memorization of ancient Chinese dictionaries and English dictionaries, and gave Zhang Cheng a review of Yu Xinren's Chinese and English teaching aids. Zhang Chengdu felt a little embarrassed. It was not good to catch someone and drag him to death. On Saturday, it was practice time again. Although the fourth model has not arrived yet, it does not mean that the teachers will no longer put more burdens on the students. On the contrary, usually at the weekend, the papers produced by the teachers themselves will come. Saturday morning, Chinese. Zhang Ming, still bald, entered the classroom with a pile of papers. "Okay, everyone is quiet." Zhang Ming put down the paper, making a quiet sound. "Today's small test, I gave you a paper. The difficulty is more difficult than the mock test, and similar to the college entrance examination. The time is 10 o'clock, everyone can write as much as they want in the composition." Zhang Cheng put away the book and looked at Zhang Ming with a fiery gaze. After focusing on Chinese for a week, it's time to see the results. "Okay, everyone put the books on the table down." Zhang Ming coughed lightly and called the two class leaders. "Xinren, Li Long, you two please distribute the papers." Li Long is a small man, about 1.6 meters tall, sitting in the second row. He is the deputy monitor. As for the results, Zhang Cheng was not impressed. It should be above average. The two got up and handed out papers. Zhang Cheng sat in the back row and was the last one to get it. It shouldn't be difficult. Zhang Cheng browsed briefly. Among the following items, the pronunciation of the punctuated characters is completely different. A. To seal the deal, to participate, to be foolish, to be ignorant. B. Popular all over the world. Pyramidine, ether. C. Simple. Zhang Cheng glanced at it, combined the words, and instantly found the correct answer. But when it came to reading and understanding modern texts, Zhang Cheng thought about it after reading the original text for a long time, but he still felt a little strenuous. What is the incorrect understanding of the original text? What psychology does it reflect of the author? Zhang Cheng. For the classical Chinese essay, I chose a section of Zuo Zhuan, and there were not many problems. In the past, Zhang Cheng couldn't get a single point for this section, but now it's a little better. With the memory of ancient Chinese dictionaries in his body, he understood these ancient texts in his mind and arranged the sentences, more or less. It was naturally much easier to answer the questions. Write the question silently in seconds. When it came time to write his essay, Zhang Cheng unexpectedly discovered that he still had 1 hour left. The Chinese language test for the college entrance examination lasts 2.5 hours. According to the progress of today's simulation, Zhang Cheng is almost half an hour ahead of schedule. The composition is a short story. The general idea is that there is a continuous mountain ahead. Most people climb one mountain after seeing it, and then stop climbing. They think that the road ahead is not easy, so it is better to stay and live in peace. Only a few people can cross the mountain. Walk to the broad plain. Requirements: choose a topic of your own choice, determine the concept, clarify the style of writing, and draft your own title. The word count should be no less than 800 words. After thinking for a while, Zhang Cheng quickly had a rough idea. In fact, this can also be regarded as a road of life. The road ahead is not smooth sailing or smooth. On the contrary, there are always some ups and downs, especially when reaching one's lofty goals. The road ahead is difficult. But it still takes those with great perseverance to cross the mountains and reach the finish line. As for stories, examples: scientist Qian Shuisun, the Red Army during the Revolutionary period, etc. flashed through Zhang Cheng's mind. After spending more than 10 minutes making preliminary drafts in his mind, Zhang Cheng started writing. I need to practice my handwriting. He usually writes the word Jia, but after Zhang Cheng deliberately wrote it, he could get by with it. But now he was writing a composition, and a lot of words were put together, and Zhang Cheng felt that his handwriting was too ugly. Add a plan to practice calligraphy. Soon, as Zhang Ming's reminder sounded again, the test was over. One group is Zhang Peng, the second group is Li Long, the third group is Yu Xinren, and the fourth group is Zhang Cheng. Please collect your test papers. Zhang Ming seemed to have noticed that Zhang Cheng had finished the papers and was doing nothing, so he immediately asked him to collect them. Zhang Cheng responded and saw that Qin Jin, his deskmate, was still writing furiously. An essay was written like a heavenly book, but he did not collect it from the back row, but walked to the front row. After all, the time was half an hour short. Many students were finishing their compositions, and some were just halfway through. Some of them didn't want to hand it in right now. Zhang Chengdao, sorry, I handed in the paper. Then he took it directly. A certain classmate raised his head angrily, but when he saw Zhang Cheng with a kind face, he immediately became honest. The nickname, Ruffian, is not for nothing. Who wouldn't be afraid of someone who is tall and strong but not afraid of trouble? Thanks to everyone's cooperation, the winding up went very smoothly, and even Qin Jin, who looked like a bitter melon, did not escape. The third and fourth classes were exams as usual, but they were for physics. Regarding physics, Zhang Cheng only briefly reviewed the books from the past 3 years in class, but he had memorized these basic knowledge points. But when it comes to mastering it, it's still a step away. Although the numbers in my head are turning quickly, I am still a little helpless in the face of these difficulties. A certain scientist conducted physical experiments on the surface of the Earth and the surface of a certain planet by vertically throwing them upwards. Both were thrown with the same initial velocity. He found that it took time t to return to the origin on the Earth, but it took 5t time on the other planet. Then he fell back to where he was. Well, Zhang Cheng looked at it and roughly knew what formula to use. The acceleration due to gravity was no problem, but he had no idea for the latter question. Still don't have a strong grasp of knowledge. Tough physics. Wait until the afternoon. Zhang Cheng. Hard chemistry. The only good thing is that since the entire high school textbook is memorized in his mind, Zhang Cheng has no problem with some questions that test theory and hard knowledge points. As soon as the Chinese language test was over, Zhang Ming went to the office holding the thick test paper. Start correcting the great cause. Teacher Zhang, you do the corrections yourself, why don't you ask the students to help you do the corrections? The biology teacher on the side walked over, holding a thermos cup with wolfberry in his hand. Zhang Ming adjusted his thick glasses and said, they are all taking exams right now, so you should do it yourself. After 2 classes, I still don't feel good. It may be that there is not enough time, or it may be that the questions are too difficult. Zhang Ming probably counted less than 5 people who scored 100 points. Alas, after the approval is over, let's continue the approval at noon. Etc. There was something unexpectedly off about the paper I was reviewing on hand. The first 12 multiple choice questions are worth 3 points each, for a total of 36 points. I glanced at the answers in the brackets and found that they were exactly the same as the CBADC that I kept in mind. It's so silky smooth. He tilted his head and looked at the names on the test paper. Zhang Cheng. It's him. Not quite right. Zhang Ming scratched his bald head, feeling a little weird. Who did you copy? Probably not. During the entire test, Zhang Ming did not wander around for a moment, walking around and invigilating the entire test. In terms of severity, it is even worse than the college entrance examination. Is this kid enlightened? Zhang Ming muttered to himself and looked at the next question. In the modern reading comprehension part, I still didn't understand it well, so 8 points were deducted. Appreciation of ancient prose, well done. When it was time to change to the composition, Zhang Ming did a rough calculation and found that the deduction was less than 20 points. I looked at the text again and saw that the words were piled up together and were still ugly, but I was still a little more serious than before and the words were still legible. The title of the composition. My heart is far away and I keep moving forward. Hey, I think this guy's writing is pretty good. After spending a little more time and reading the essay, I felt that the lines and sentences were somewhat relevant and the idea was good. When giving the score, Zhang Ming hesitated, but finally gave it 50 points. To further calculate the points deduction, 10 points will be deducted for the composition, 8 points will be deducted for reading comprehension, 5 points will be deducted for the short essay, and 5 points will be deducted for ancient text appreciation and translation, for a total deduction of 28 points. Total score, 122 points. How can this be? Did you get the wrong answer? Zhang Ming took off his glasses, first rubbed his eyes vigorously, then carefully took out the cloth from the glasses case and wiped the lenses. I put on my glasses and read it carefully from beginning to end. That's right. Zhang Cheng really scored 122 points. When all the subjects finished the quizzes on Sunday morning and the teachers were preparing to work overtime in the afternoon to complete the marking, Zhang Ming, who had already collected the scores, leisurely made green tea, crossed his legs and watched several teachers busy. Each teacher taught 2 classes. Zhang Ming taught not only the grade 3-9 class where Zhang Cheng and the others were, but also an ordinary class grade 3-5. Both classes finished their exams on Saturday, and the test papers were scored. However, he is the head teacher of class 9 and is also concerned about the scores in other subjects. National Day, how was your test result this time? Zhang Ming took a sip of tea and asked Chen Guoqing, the math teacher beside him. Chen Guoqing stopped, stretched his waist, and said in a neutral tone, "What else can I do? It's worse than the last mock test." He also taught a rocket class, but he really looked down upon this ordinary class 9. Zhang Ming persuaded with a smile, "We want to be more liberal, but it really makes them angry. It's not worth it." Alas, I'm still angry. Many test points are so simple. I've told them countless times. I can't even change the words or the numbers. Chen Guoqing shook his head and said with a bitter smile, "Now that the college entrance examination is so short, it is difficult to improve." Zhang Ming also sighed lightly, but then asked, "How is Zhang Cheng doing in this exam?" "I think this week, he has really changed his mind. Reviewing very serious, not just pretending." Chen Guoqing paused. "I haven't changed his paper yet, but it has indeed changed a lot." Zhang Cheng, who never asked questions in the past, has asked him at least 4 times this week. The questions asked ranged from simple to somewhat difficult the first time. How many did he take in the Chinese language test this time? Guess. Zhang Ming chuckled, put down the cup, and said, "Lao Zhang, physics teacher, Xiao Li, biology teacher, you also guess. If you guessed it right, I will treat you tonight." Chen Guoqing said, "Funny Ly, are you so generous today, old guy?" Zhang Xing, Li Wen and others who were grading papers also stopped. Teacher Zhang is so confident. I guess Zhang Cheng's test score this time will be okay. I guess he will get a score of 100 or so. It's impossible to get more than 100 points. I remember Zhang Cheng only scored 50 or 60 points before. Did he get more than 90 points this time? However, English teacher Chen Yuan rarely interrupted and said, "I guess more than 110. Yu Wen, you talk too much. With more than 110, you can be in the top 5 of class 9. Zhang Xing laughed. Chen Yuan took out the English paper and said, "Look, Zhang Cheng got 103 in English this time. How can this be? Zhang Xing took the test paper and looked at it. He was also shocked. Li Wen was also very curious this time. Teacher Zhang, don't be too pretentious and tell me how much Zhang Cheng has learned in Chinese. Which one of us guessed it right? Zhang Ming also took out the paper, and the corners of his mouth were raised. I tell you, 122 points. Impossible. Yeah, how is that possible? Not to mention the excitement in the teacher's office. Senior high school students who rarely take a half-day break can finally let themselves go. Zhang Cheng rarely went home for dinner at noon. Over the past week, Zhang Cheng either ate something simple in the cafeteria, or asked Qin Jin to bring some steamed buns, without wasting any time. Of course, the lunch meal was indeed a bit unsatisfactory. When Chen Ru saw Zhang Cheng coming back for dinner, she even made a big extra meal and cooked 2 more delicious dishes. Zhang Cheng did not continue at noon, but took the opportunity to have a good sleep. Judging from the feeling of the test, Chinese has basically improved, but English is still lacking, mainly in listening, grammar and composition. As for reading comprehension, it's not a big problem. Zhang Cheng plans to focus on English and mathematics next week. In another half-month, I will tackle math, physics and chemistry. Strive to basically improve your scores to the top 10 in the class before the 4th model. The last month is about sprinting towards higher and higher goals. Zhang Cheng still remembers reading online articles in his previous life. Some top academics were very arrogant, engaging in competitions, and giving out recommendations. Zhang Cheng had no choice but to improve his college entrance examination scores. What's more, Guangdong County where they are located is just a small border county with a small number of teachers. If you can read 1 book, you are already among the best. There is no competition at all. It was rare to sleep, so Zhang Cheng slept until 3 o'clock in the afternoon before getting ready to go out. Mom, I'm going out. When they arrived at the store on the 1st floor, Zhang Cheng said to Chen Ru, who was knocking off shoe patterns. Chen Ru looked up and said, okay, don't go to the internet cafe. I'm not going. Zhang Cheng raised his hand and waved. Of course I won't go. In today's internet cafes, in addition to CF and DNF, Dota and Fantasy Westward Journey are also popular. Although, in the past, his favorite was Dota. But Zhang Cheng is no longer interested. I still remember that after Wings, TI no longer had a championship. Cross Street, Pengcheng Bookstore. Zhang Cheng plans to have more prostitutes for free, and will buy some more books later when it gets later. Picking up an English grammar tutorial book, Zhang Cheng stood at the corner and started reading, turning over the book carefully. Time was of the essence, and Zhang Cheng was too lazy to digest it in detail, so he memorized it first. All of a sudden, Zhang Cheng looked over quickly, as if scanning. An average of 2 seconds per page, and it takes 6.5 minutes to flip through a thick book. My hands were so rough. Zhang Cheng dipped his fingers in his saliva and continued to flip through the book. Fill in the blanks, pass. Composition skills, 2. Reading comprehension, pass, comma. After standing for more than an hour, Zhang Cheng's legs were a little tired. He was squatting and watching when suddenly a greeting came from the side. Zhang Cheng, what are you doing here? Zhang Cheng shook his head and looked up at the source of the sound. Yu Xinren was wearing an elegant green dress, her small face reflected in the white light at the door, and she was looking at him strangely. Supervisor, Zhang Cheng shouted and then stood up. But when I got up, everything went dark, and I almost fell down. Are you okay? Seeing this, Yu Xinren subconsciously pulled Zhang Cheng. Zhang Cheng took a breath and said, I feel dizzy after squatting for a long time. Yu Xinren let go and asked, how was this test? Chinese, I guess it's pretty good. It should be over 100 points. I have to thank you for that. Zhang Cheng put the book back and thanked him with a smile. When Yu Xinren heard this, she was also a little happy. Okay, if you study hard and review, there will be no problem in getting into college. Yes, you still have to work harder. Zhang Cheng nodded. If you don't have a college degree in the future, it will be difficult to do anything. Sorry, estimate, should be removed. That's true. Yu Xinren was convinced. Is the class monitor here to buy tutoring books? Zhang Cheng asked. Yeah, I still have a lot of questions in physics, and I want to find another book to review. Zhang Cheng remembered that Yu Xinren's grades were among the top 10 in the class. She often scored more than 120 points in Chinese exams, but she was always lagging behind in physics and mathematics. Physics is so difficult. If you don't have an idea for many questions, you won't make any sense at all. My logical thinking is weak, and science is really difficult. Yu Xinren smiled bitterly and shrugged. Then, he searched the pile of books with his eyes. No more, I'll find a few books and leave. Okay. Zhang Cheng waved his hand and moved away. A breeze blew through my nose. Hey, I'm still a virgin. High school is still the time when puberty hormones are strong, and the opposite gender is always attractive to boys. As for the science class, there are originally few girls. Yu Xinren has good academic performance and is beautiful. She is the crush of many boys. Zhang Cheng recovered his thoughts and continued reading. The current major issue is still the college entrance examination. Yu Xinren quickly found books, bought 3 thick tutorial books, said hello to Zhang Cheng and left. Zhang Cheng looked at it for a while, and under the unhappy look of the store owner, he picked out 2 tutoring books, one in English and one in mathematics. He also bought a calligraphy copybook for Tian Kai. The shop owner's face was filled with a smile again. 96. Zhang Cheng paid the money, then took the book and left. It seems that I will have to change my bookstore next week to continue my free prostitution. DBGU. In the evening, after dinner, Zhang Cheng opened Tian Kai on the desk. There are 3,500 commonly used words in modern Chinese. Read it carefully first and memorize these words seriously. Then Zhang Cheng picked up the pen and began to describe with concentration. Second, 2, 10. Every time he wrote a word, his standard Tian Kai writing method appeared in Zhang Cheng's mind. The large characters are magnified in my mind, and the details of every stroke and the structure of each character are deeply imprinted. However, when describing, the weight of Zhang Cheng's pen was far from up to standard. But at least, after describing one page, Zhang Cheng felt quite satisfied. Basically, the strokes and structure were restored as much as possible. The remaining shortcomings are more about the artistry and stability of the calligraphy. Now Zhang Cheng's pen is not so stable. On the first page, start writing. Taking the Tianzi grid, Zhang Cheng began to write word by word. Before writing, there was no need to read the original book. Zhang Cheng remembered it clearly in his mind. Write 1 line for each word. After writing a word, Zhang Cheng did not continue writing so quickly, but carefully compared the problems and made subtle adjustments to the problems found. 11 characters per line. By the time he reached the 3rd column of words, Zhang Cheng had already written quite standardly. Keep it up, keep it up. Zhang Cheng took a breath and started writing the 2nd word. He has discovered that although he has a super memory, it is still impossible to practice calligraphy overnight. The only thing that was better was that Zhang Cheng was able to practice according to the standard characters all the time, and his muscle memory after practice was much improved than before. At 12 o'clock in the evening, Zhang Cheng had already practiced 2 pages. We have arrived at the team and office. The progress is not very fast, but the effect is quite obvious. Zhang Cheng believes that in a few weeks, he will be able to practice calligraphy well. Noriko, it's almost time to go to bed, we have to go to school tomorrow. At this time, there was a knock on the door, and then Chen Ru entered the room and reminded. Zhang Cheng responded, Mom, I'm going to sleep. Chen Ru looked towards the desk and saw that he was practicing calligraphy. I want to practice my calligraphy well. I heard them say that the college entrance examination is scored on the computer. If the calligraphy is not good, no one will give points. Aha! Zhang Cheng put away the paper and pens for calligraphy practice and prepared to wash up and go to bed. Chen Ru nodded with satisfaction and then left. This baby of ours has really changed his gender. Chen Ru couldn't wait to go back to the room and talk to Zhang Yiping. I can tell you that Noriko has really changed her gender. She has been practicing calligraphy in her room. I looked at it and she practiced very seriously. Zhang Yiping snorted softly. What's the use of cramming for the moment? Chen Ru bumped his shoulder lightly. I can tell you, Chengji has really changed recently and is really studying hard. You can't talk about him anymore. Don't hurt his confidence. Okay, I got it. Zhang Yiping was a little impatient. I'm so busy at the end of the day that I don't have time to care about him. Just worry more. Anyway, I heard someone say that senior high school students should be encouraged more and not scolded every day, otherwise it will affect their mood. How will they review? Okay, turn off the lights. Zhang Yiping looked at the time and turned off the lights directly. However, Chen Ru's thoughts kept spinning in her mind and she couldn't sleep at all. Maybe Chengji can be admitted to college. The person next to me didn't reply until a while passed. I'll buy a box of Life number 1 tomorrow. April 18th is 51 days away from the college entrance examination. After early self-study, it's Chinese. Zhang Ming came in with a serious look on his face. Attend class. As usual, Yu Xinren shouted first, stand up. Hello teacher. The teacher is not good. Zhang Ming responded directly after everyone sat down. For a moment, the whole class was silent, and no one dared to express their anger. Look at how you passed the test. Are the mock questions I gave difficult? Zhang Ming put down the paper and started scolding. Everyone still dared not speak. The students in the row behind quickly hid themselves behind the piles of books and never raised their heads. Zhang Ming called out, Xinren, Zhang Cheng, you two come and hand out the papers. Zhang Cheng was stunned for a moment, a little surprised that he was called again, but he still got up and went to get the paper. The two of them each took a pile and looked at each other, feeling that everyone was a little sad during these two classes today. Sure enough, when handing out papers, Zhang Ming started scolding again. How can you take the college entrance examination with this attitude? What did you review every week? The average score is actually 2 points lower than the third model. It was 92 last time, and it's 90 this time. You are the worst class one have taught. Zhang Cheng was a little embarrassed. Sure enough, he was the worst in every session. When I was handing out the results, I took a look and saw that there were only a few people with scores above 100, and many were around 90. Many are only 70 or 80%. After all, the time is half an hour less, and many people haven't finished writing their essays yet. Yu Xinren was handed Zhang Cheng's test paper and took a special look at it. She was also shocked. When the two passed by each other while passing the paper, their voice came over in a low voice, Zhang Cheng, that's amazing. What? However, soon, he saw Qin Jin's resentful eyes. After handing out the papers, Zhang Cheng sat back in his seat. Are you cheating? Qin Jin muttered depressedly. Zhang Cheng took the paper and looked at it. The big red characters read 122. Not bad, a few points better than I expected. You know, Zhang Cheng would probably be satisfied with a score of 45 points for the essay. Zhang Cheng's lips raised slightly, this is the effect of review. Why don't you hurry up and catch up? Qin Jin was confused. Could it be that Zhang Cheng's review really had such a big effect? However, at this moment, Zhang Ming began to comment on the results again. Although time is a little tight for this test, that's not an excuse. Because we don't need to fill in the answer sheets for the test questions, there should be plenty of time. Zhang Ming spoke loudly again, there are two people who scored more than 120 points. Quote. Everyone raised their heads and looked at Zhang Ming. The first place is Yu Xinren, with 126 points. Zhang Ming glanced at Yu Xinren, nodded, and then said, the second place is Zhang Cheng, with 122 points. What? Zhang Cheng, is it wrong? Are you talking about Zhang Peng? For a moment, the whole classroom was quietly noisy. Zhang Ming slammed the table with the blackboard eraser and emphasized it again. Jing, you heard that right. Zhang Cheng, 122 points. Everyone now turned to look at the fourth group in the seventh row. Zhang Cheng touched his nose and said nothing. Qin Jin gave a thumbs up from the side, you are awesome, second place. Maybe everyone doesn't believe it, but this is the fact. Zhang Mingdao, Zhang Cheng, please pass the test paper to everyone. Quote. Zhang Cheng obeyed, stood up and handed the paper to the front. Everyone circulated it. There is no point deduction for the first big question. Is it so awesome? Did Zhang Cheng really write this composition? Zhang Ming added, everyone has seen that last week. Zhang Cheng listened carefully to every class and studied very seriously in the morning and evening self-study. Even at noon, I saw him eating steamed buns and reading a book several times. Today's results, which he earned through his hard work. You all must learn from him. Don't give up on yourself just because your grades are not good now. You must believe in yourself and put in all your efforts to review, and you will definitely get better grades. The test papers were quickly sent back. Only then did Zhang Cheng have time to look at the points deduction items. The composition was not bad, only 10 points were deducted. On the other hand, reading comprehension was directly deducted by 8 points. Alas, I really don't understand the author's intention. When the next test paper was explained, many people got very excited and began to review seriously. Ah, Zhang Chengdu can do it, and so can I. Zhang Cheng looked happy when he saw his classmates starting to roll up. Let's accept the ravages of the college entrance examination together. _O, work hard. In subsequent tests on other subjects, Zhang Chengcheng was not so impressive, but overall, there was still some improvement. Small test situation from April 16 to 17. Chinese, 122 points. Mathematics, 88 points. English, 103 points. Physics, 55 points. Chemistry, 60 points. Biology, 66 points. The total score reached a terrifying 494 points. Compared with the 3 models, the score is nearly doubled. The second book is stable. After all the scores came out on Tuesday, Qin Jin carefully helped Zhang Cheng do the math. Wow, you really abandoned me. Qin Jinyu was extremely resentful. Zhang Cheng said hurriedly, don't talk nonsense, it's not me, I didn't. Last year, our first tier score in science was only 515, and you have to take the first tier exam. Qin Jin showed envy, but he felt uncomfortable in his heart. Zhang Cheng knew his score, which was just shy of 300 points. Qin Jin touched Zhang Cheng's forehead, are you really an orange? Zhang Cheng said angrily, nonsense. Qin Jin immediately grabbed Zhang Cheng's arm and hugged him, I don't care, you have to teach me, don't leave me to work alone. Okay, I'll teach you. Just do this, keep doing this. Zhang Cheng said seriously. What, how is it? Qin Jin looked confused. Zhang Cheng stopped teasing him and said seriously, I took a look at your score. The Chinese language test was 62 points this time. The points you lost were in the multiple choice questions. Practice this and try to lose only 6 points. Also, if you mention English specifically, you won't be able to improve much if you review the rest. Okay, I listen to you, I will review Chinese and English specifically. Qin Jin clenched his fists and determined to give it a try. He hasn't read any novels since last week. There was no way, there was a review maniac at the same table, and every time he read it a few times, he felt uncomfortable and he lost interest in those articles. Okay, you can ask the squad leader to borrow the wrong question book first. Zhang Cheng signaled. Qin Jin immediately withered, no, you can borrow it for me. Quote. Zhang Cheng was speechless, forget it, I'll sort it out myself and give it to you tomorrow. You should take a good look at it and make sure you memorize it. Yeah, Chengji, good brother, I'll help you with your lunch this week. Qin Jin put his arm around Zhang Cheng's shoulder, very happy. Make a deal. Zhang Cheng couldn't relax completely in Chinese, so Zhang Cheng continued to read some books, especially simulation questions, real questions, Wang Gang's secret volume, Lin Chuan's secret volume, etc. Zhang Ming all provided Zhang Cheng with them, so that Zhang Cheng could continue to improve. As an ordinary class, it is very difficult to achieve a score of 120 or more in Chinese, and he feels that Zhang Cheng still has room for improvement. As for Yu Xinren, he has always been stable, but it is still difficult to break through 130 points and it depends on luck. But Zhang Cheng was different. Zhang Ming felt that his basic skills were too solid. Like the multiple choice questions in the first part, Zhang Cheng rarely deducted more than 2 points after completing them. Xinren, you and Zhang Cheng can communicate more and learn from each other's strengths. I believe your grades can be improved a bit. Zhang Ming specifically explained to the two of them when they were having a small meal in the teacher's office. In addition, Zhang Cheng, your reading comprehension needs to be improved. Read more reference answers and think more about why you summarize and answer questions like this, as well as your composition. Your craftsmanship is still a bit strong. If you want to get high scores, you need to do more. Jin, you need to write in a way that makes people's eyes brighter, and you need to practice your handwriting as soon as possible. Okay, Zhang Cheng responded, knowing that Zhang Ming was doing it for his own good. Yu Xinren also nodded. I understand, teacher. Go ahead. Zhang Ming was full of joy. If you have the spare capacity, you can also guide other students. No problem. Zhang Cheng made an, okay, gesture and left with Yu Xinren. The campus of Guangalin Middle School is a bit old, with towering trees. The two walked side by side on the road. Zhang Cheng, I didn't expect you to be so good. After reviewing for a week, your grades improved. Yu Xinren feels a little incredible now that he thinks about it. In the past, her Chinese scores were far ahead of the class, and she felt very satisfied. She didn't spend a lot of time just collecting wrong question sets. But now she's feeling the pressure. This man will probably be on top of her next time. Thanks to you. Zhang Cheng thanked him sincerely. You are a strong opponent. Let's compete next time in the mock test to see who comes first. Okay, what about the loser? The loser gets milk tea. Make a deal. Zhang Cheng entered into an orderly review rhythm as usual. Listen carefully in class and master all the key questions asked by the teacher. In the morning, self-study will be conducted to listen to English listening skills and improve the sense of language. In the afternoon, students will read tutorials to focus on improving grammar. In the evening self-study, they will focus on practicing math problems. When I got home, I practiced Tian Kai for another 2 hours. Time flies so fast, and it will be Labor Day in a few days. It is rare for senior high school students to have a day off. The weather also started to get very hot. During class, the electric fan above my head began to spin, squeaking. Tian Kai's commonly used calligraphy has been trained. Now, as long as Zhang Cheng doesn't seek speed, the handwriting he writes with care looks very beautiful. Only the layout between words needs to be improved a bit. But it no longer affects Zhang Cheng's good handwriting. Qin Jin also entered the plan to review Chinese and English as requested by Zhang Cheng. In physics, he definitely has no potential to improve. As long as he can maintain a score of more than 30 points in each subject, he will make a profit if he can score 123 in science. In his hand is a collection of key pronunciations and easily misspelled characters compiled by Zhang Cheng. The characters are very beautiful and are in standard Tiankai. According to Qin Jin, Zhang Cheng was really cheating. After practicing calligraphy for a month, I actually became good at calligraphy. It made him often think about it. Who did he skip class and play games with in the past? The last mock test has finally arrived. Everyone's books were asked to be taken away, leaving empty desks. The class leaders turned each table over and separated them. Zhang Cheng and others brought their stationery and entered the examination room one by one in exactly the same manner as the college entrance examination. Everyone messed up the exam. All the time arrangements are exactly the same as the college entrance examination. On the first day, there was a Chinese test in the morning and a math test in the afternoon. The next day, I took the comprehensive science test in the morning and the English test in the afternoon. The questions were not difficult, and Zhang Cheng felt they were slightly easier than those of Sanmo. This may be the last mock exam, let's give everyone some confidence. The mock exam is over, which means it's time for the May Day holiday. Ah, the exam is finally over. Qin Jin took the exam for 2 consecutive days and felt like he was getting anxious. Although Zhang Cheng could bear it, he was still a little tired. Come on, let's go relax. Hey, aren't you going to an internet cafe? I've thought too much. I'll go after the college entrance examination. Let's go and take you to eat crayfish. Zhang Cheng patted Qin Jin on the shoulder and prepared to take him to a feast. Yu Xinren on the side was preparing to pack her things and leave. Zhang Cheng invited him smoothly. Squad leader, do you want to come with us? What, are you ready to celebrate? Yu Xinren smiled slightly and joked. No, I heard that a Lobster King opened on Yanjiang Road and is holding an event. The second order is only 1 yuan. Zhang Cheng picked up his school bag and the 3 of them walked out. Yu Xinren smiled and said, I didn't expect you to hear other things besides review. I am over-flattered. Qin Jin followed, not daring to speak again. The 3 of them then rode their bikes to Yanjiang Road together. Zhang Cheng ordered 5 pounds of lobster and several bottles of beer, while Yu Xinren got soy milk. Qin Jin opened the lid and drank directly. It's great. Yu Xinren drank a cup of soy milk and then peeled the lobster. This is my first time eating it. Is it peeled like this? Now, This is it. Zhang Cheng took a big one and started to demonstrate. Remove the head, pull out the gut, and remove the shell. The meat in the middle is spicy and fresh. Yeah, that's good. Yu Xinren nodded. Qin Jin suddenly felt like a light bulb, bright and big. No, orange, Come on, mirror, let's have a drink. Zhang Cheng took the bottle and had with Qin Jin. In my heart, I suddenly remembered the days when I had barbecue in Hubu Lane in my previous life, but that had become a memory and was a long time ago. Drink. Qin Jin became more courageous after drinking. Chengji, I originally wanted to finish these 2 months and go to Guangdong province to work. Why did you suddenly change your gender? Woolen cloth. Yu Xinren stopped talking and ate shrimp alone. Zhang Cheng put down the shrimp and started drinking with Qin Jin. He knew that Qin Jin had a lot of confusion and displeasure in his heart. Even he would not have truly made up his mind to study for the college entrance examination wholeheartedly if he had not had a difficult life in his previous life. I've had a really hard time this month. I can't read the book, I have to force myself to read it, and I have to review it after I go back at night. When I feel sleepy, I prick myself with a pen. Qin Jin drank heavily and cried. Complain. Zhang Cheng is working hard and has made such great progress. As his deskmate, Qin Jin could only force himself to keep up, hoping to make some progress. Yu Xinren looked at Qin Jin in surprise. The 2 poor students in the past, the 2 people with the least presence in class 9, actually had such a side. Fighting, brawling, skipping classes, surfing the internet. It is true that no classmates are willing to get close to Zhang Cheng and Qin Jin, they have always been together. If it weren't for Zhang Cheng, Yu Xinren probably wouldn't have had much interaction with the 2 of them. Just classmates. Zhang Cheng drank a few more sips of wine with Qin Jin and patted him on the shoulder. Mirror, you have to believe that when you look back on this period of struggle in a few years, you will be grateful for the rest of your life. Qin Jin had a very poor drinking capacity, so he had the courage to drink a bottle and soon became drunk. That's good now. Once he's drunk, how can we eat these several kilograms of shrimp? Yu Xinren said with a smile. This is only a few kilograms. Zhang Cheng waved his hand and quickly peeled the shrimp with his gloves. Having experienced late-night snacks for a long time, he was very good at peeling shrimps. While peeling his own shrimps, he could also peel them for Yu Xinren. How many points do you estimate for this simulation? Yu Xinren asked suddenly. This answer should be about 545. Zhang Cheng made a rough estimate. I haven't reviewed these 3 subjects in depth yet. So awesome. That one will definitely be fine. Yu Xinren was also very happy. Her grades have always been around 540, and she is already ranked among the top 10 in the class. Zhang Cheng shook his head. However, we haven't produced results yet, and I don't know if the estimate is accurate. By the way, what major do you want to study in college? I don't know yet. I couldn't pass the college entrance exam in fractions before. I never thought about it. Zhang Cheng has always regarded the college entrance examination as his top priority. As for which school he can go to and what major he chooses, that is all a matter of course. Let's talk about it after getting admitted to college. And you? Yu Xinren put down the shrimp. I plan to study finance and economics. That's good. I heard that this major has good prospects. Zhang Cheng nodded. My parents said the same thing. The 2 chatted for a while and almost finished eating the shrimp, before Yu Xinren left first. Throughout high school, Zhang Cheng had very few friends. Now besides Qin Jin, he had one more friend, Yu Xinren. Zhang Cheng sent Qin Jin back and then returned home. Noriko, why are you drinking? Chen Ru was somewhat unhappy when she saw Zhang Cheng coming back smelling of alcohol. After finishing the mock test today, Qin and I went in to eat lobster. We drank a little wine. Zhang Cheng smiled and explained. Chen Ru sighed. Okay, go take a shower. Nu. Zhang Yiping's expression on the side was not very good. When Zhang Cheng went upstairs, he said again, we haven't even taken the college entrance examination yet, and we're already drinking. What are you talking about? Okay, Chengji just finished the mock test. Why don't you relax a little? We have a holiday tomorrow. Chen Ru naturally favored her son. You are just facing him. Zhang Yiping was always unhappy. You guard the store, I'll go up and take a look. Chen Ru said with a sigh and followed upstairs. Zhang Cheng took a quick shower. Although he drank some wine, his mind was clear. Changji, go to bed early tonight and get up to read tomorrow morning. Chen Ru took a bottle of Life No. 1 and placed it on Zhang Cheng's desk. This made Zhang Cheng confused, and again, this. Since the family bought this a while ago, Chen Ru has made sure to give Zhang Cheng a bottle every day. Zhang Cheng naturally knew that this was just an ordinary drink. Okay, I'll practice calligraphy and then go to sleep. Zhang Cheng nodded and responded. Chen Ru pointed to the bed again. Now that the weather is hot, there are more mosquitoes. I've added a mosquito net for you today and lit the mosquito coils. There should be no mosquitoes. Yeah, thank you, Mom. How do you thank Mom? How do you feel about this mock test? Chen Ru asked about the mock test again. Zhang Cheng naturally knew his parents' expectations. He hadn't said anything about the last test yet. Mom, don't worry and prepare the tuition fees. Okay. Chen Ru agreed happily and then left the room. May Day Labor Day, as required, we will have a 3-day holiday from April 30th to May 2nd. However, for senior high school students, May 1st is the only day left. As usual, Zhang Cheng got up early to review English and went through all the past test papers, including answers and analysis. I still have hearing in my ears, and I am listening to the recitation of good English articles. Multitasking does not affect the effectiveness at all. This is the result of Zhang Cheng's exploration this month. It's just that the appetite is much larger. As for the lobster last night, most of it was eaten by Zhang Cheng. After dinner, Chin came in and invited Zhang Cheng to play. Aunt Chen, good morning. Jinzi, is it so early today? Chen Ru said hello while replenishing the goods. Can you find Changji? I'll ask him to come down. Chin Jin smiled sheepishly. We are not going to the internet cafe. We are going to the bookstore to read. Okay, it's time to calm down. Chen Ru said with a smile. Then, Chen Ru shouted loudly upstairs, Changji, Chin is coming in. Zhang Cheng's voice echoed from a distance. Sit down. Chen Ru greeted amiably. Zhang Chengdu has changed recently. He spends his time at home reading and practicing calligraphy. By the way, how is his performance in school? Zhang Cheng didn't take the initiative to talk about the situation at school. Although Chen Ru didn't ask, she was eager to know. Qin Jin suddenly flashed past the scene of Zhang Cheng crazily reviewing and reading, paused, and said, Chengji has been reviewing very seriously recently. He scored more than 490 points in the last small test. This time, the fourth model is estimated to be at least more than 500 points. Really? Chen Ru's eyes suddenly lit up. Although she doesn't read many books, she still pays attention to this topic. The score in science is nearly 500, so it's no problem to take the second exam. Yes, at this moment, Zhang Cheng came downstairs, wearing a white t-shirt, a pair of gray trousers, and a neatly styled hairdo. At 1.8 meters tall, he looked quite talented. Mom, let's go out then. Zhang Cheng was full of energy. After talking to Chen Ru, he took Qin Jin away. Oh, okay. Chen Ru was still in shock. You need to know the results of every mock test. Although Zhang Cheng did poorly in the test, he still paid attention to it. It has always been 250 or 60 points, and the best test was 290. This is already an extraordinary performance. I guess I was lucky and got a lot of things right. After a while, Chen Ru came back to her senses. She felt that yesterday's premonition was really coming true. Hollow down pointing triangle, Doctor's Garden Bookstore. Zhang Cheng specially changed to a bookstore today. First, they read a few books for free, and then each of them picked one. The book chosen for Qin Jin was a book that focused on English grammar. Zhang Cheng thought it was pretty good and suited Qin Jin's current level. He himself has 4 major subjects and 4 sets of mock papers. The latest Wanggang's secret volume. Chengji, have you recruited any of your classmates? When he was about to leave, Qin Jin glanced at the cultural and sports store nearby and asked suddenly. Not yet. Zhang Cheng was a little surprised. Have you started writing your classmate list? I see that many classmates are buying it, and I plan to write it down this month. After all, after the college entrance examination, everyone goes their separate ways. Qin Jin shrugged. Zhang Cheng actually didn't have much impression on most of these classmates, but after the small test, he felt that everyone was closer to him. Then let's buy a copy too. Good. After each choosing a classmate book, the two of them entered the internet cafe with satisfaction. It's been a long time since I logged into my account. Zhang Chengdu had forgotten his password and it took him a while to retrieve it. Qin Jin didn't wait for him and started CF by himself. Zhang Cheng searched the internet for major events in recent years, and slowly recalled some major events that happened in his previous life. The college entrance examination is no longer a problem. Zhang Cheng can guarantee that he will be admitted to college, and there is even hope of entering a key university. As for how many points he must get and what rank he must compete for, Zhang Cheng had no such idea. The new goal needs him to think about and determine. What major should I study? How to make your first pot of gold? These two are the main questions immediately after the college entrance examination. Not only that, Zhang Lin vaguely felt that his plug-in was related to that old computer. You felt that computer hardware such as CPU, memory, and hard drive were integrated into his body. Otherwise, how to explain his supercalculation and photographic memory? Zhang Cheng is quite familiar with computers. After all, he has been an apprentice in the computer city for several years, and the machines he assembled by himself are considered very conscientious. At least they won't charge those beggar boards or items, and they will charge mid-range or even high-end prices. Learn computers. Think of it as a way to understand the secrets of your own body and tap into its full potential. As for making money, Zhang Cheng has searched and found no very good answers. Some suggest gambling, while others think he can be a translator or lawyer. However, now, the first pot of gold Zhang Cheng needs to be put on the agenda. At least you have to earn money for your own computer, right? After turning off the computer, Zhang Cheng leaned back lazily. Hey, does our school get a financial reward for being admitted to a good university? Then you have to take the Mizuki and Kyoto University exams. Qin Jin put down his headphones and was about to get off the plane. I haven't played for a long time and my hands are raw. After a few games, I have 1 kill and 6 deaths. Falling to the ground, Zhang Cheng's eyes lit up. How much is it? It seems like 100,000 yuan. Hey, this is going to work. Zhang Cheng was a little moved. Qin Jin rolled his eyes at him. What are you thinking about? With a score of 678, no one in our school's rocket class can pass. Holy crap, the score line is so high. Zhang Cheng was also shocked. That's for sure. In our small county, Shangshuimu and Kyoto, it will be good to have one in a few years. I'm just thinking about it. Zhang Cheng smiled and stood up. Let's go. Hollow down pointing triangle. The entire 4th mode exam paper is similar to the college entrance examination. The papers are sealed and marked by several groups of teachers. Each person is responsible for a few questions. The grade group leader is still watching carefully. However, for a while, there will definitely be no results. The May Day holiday is over and the test paper preparation stage has not yet entered. The students have been relatively relaxed these days and are reviewing on their own. Taking advantage of this time, you came and I began to exchange classmates. For a time, all kinds of student recording papers were circulating in the class. Here, classmate records. Zhang Cheng also took his own classmate records and distributed them to the whole class. Yu Xinren took it and handed it to him. Mine. Okay. Zhang Cheng gestured and took away. When you receive one, you have to fill it out quickly and take it back. But if there are too many, it is easy to mistake which one belongs to whom. Of course, Zhang Cheng doesn't have this problem. Lifting up the gel pen, Zhang Cheng started filling it out. Personal file. Name, Zhang Cheng. Birthday, February 22nd. Address, number 78, Yanjiang West Road, Guangdong County, Shaojiangyan Miscellaneous Store. Button, 9,359,121XX. Cell phone, none. Email, Chenko email. Hobbies, reading, computers. Message from classmates. Written in regular script, there is beauty all the way. Regarding the message, Zhang Cheng thought about it and wrote, in the quiet years, gatherings and separations are all destined to happen. Reminiscing about the sun rising and the moon setting, we were classmates for 3 years. Spring passed and autumn came, and we overcame the difficulties together. The vast Linjiang River flows far away from Zhuzhou, and the road of life begins a new chapter. A limerick. The size, structure, and compactness of the fields are also more in place. Even Zhang Cheng feels that the writing is very good. I spent some time completing a classmate list for Yu Xinren. Next, Zhang Cheng started writing about other people. It was also rare that Zhang Cheng, who had never been approachable before, received a lot. I wrote a few simple sentences, such as, "Friendship is a wordless song that blooms like a tree of beautiful flowers in the light season. I wish you a bright future and success in your studies. 3 years have passed by in a hurry, and we are about to say goodbye. Don't wave your hands and sigh, there will be time to meet again in the future. I wish you a happy graduation, a bright future, and a prosperous journey." Chapter 11. After 2 days of intense paper revision, it was finally time to remove the seals and tally the results. Zhang Ming was old and was the class teacher, so naturally he didn't need to record the results, so he just watched from the side. The first thing to count was the Chinese scores, and a series of score reports came. Zhang Peng, 109. He Xinwei, 98. Well, judging from the results of the previous few people, it feels better than the last small test. At the critical moment, you still have to scold a few times before these little fools know what hard work means. Li Long, 110. Zhang Cheng, 134. Wait a minute, how much is Zhang Cheng? Zhang Ming was stunned for a moment and stopped the biology teacher Li Wen to continue reporting the scores. Li Wen turned back and pulled out Zhang Cheng's paper. "Here, look at it, it's 134 points. Hiss. Zhang Ming took a breath, took the answer sheet, and read it carefully. The entire answer sheet feels very refreshing, and all the words seem to be printed. But if you look closely, you will see that they are not printed, but standard Tian Kai. I looked at the name and saw that it was correct, it was Zhang Cheng. Zhang Cheng from class 9 of senior high school. Li Wen said with a smile, "Teacher Zhang Cheng feels like he has suddenly become more successful. His score is probably one of the best in rocket class." Zhang Ming nodded without replying, preparing to take a serious look at his answers. Li Wen continued to report the scores. Li Lily, 90. No matter who looks at this roll, they will feel particularly comfortable. Even if the essay is poorly written, the score will probably not be low. I looked at the essay and got a score of 54. A few points higher than the last quiz. After briefly reading the full text, I felt that Zhang Cheng had already felt the pulse of high-scoring college entrance examination essays. Coupled with the completely improved layout and handwriting, it seems to have reached the point where there are almost no errors. This little guy wants to go to the conference for review when he is playing around. He is really trying to learn, but he seems to be going to the conference to give a typical speech. Zhang Ming couldn't understand, so he went back with the answer sheet. Qin Jin, 88. Yu Xinren, 128. After a while, the Chinese scores were reported, and the next subject, mathematics, began. Coincidentally, Zhang Cheng's paper was ranked first. "It's time for math, Zhang Cheng, 117. Chen Yuan, who was recording the scores, was a little surprised and couldn't help but ask, "I remember in the last test, his math score was only over 80. Has it improved so much this time?" Zhang Ming nodded, but felt a little excited in his heart. "Our class 9, it looks like we are going to have another important point. The entire 9th class is just an ordinary class. In fact, there are only 4 or 5 people who can sprint to the key points, but now there may be one more Zhang Cheng." Li Wendao said, "Let's not worry about it now. Let's wait until the scores are compiled." Good. Everyone was full of energy. As we got to the back, teachers from class 9 and class 6 slowly gathered around. Chinese, 134. Mathematics, 117. English, 125. General Theory. The School of Science and Technology is still reporting scores, but Zhang Cheng's score for the 3 gates has been automatically calculated, 376 points. As the answer sheets passed one by one, everyone became more and more anxious. "What's going on? You haven't arrived in Zhangcheng yet." As if to test everyone's patience, when they were approaching the last few cards, they saw Zhang Cheng's answer sheet. Come on, Zhang Cheng." Li Wen paused and then reported, "Science Comprehensive Science 221. Holy shit, the total score reached 597 points. 597 ah. Only 3 points short of 600. 985 universities are all in sight. The teachers were all shocked, and no one spoke for a while. Chen Guoqing was introverted and seldom spoke, but he spoke first later. This score ranks high among the rockets class. The rocket class is a rocket class, but there are actually not many people who can really stabilize their score above 600, only 12 or 3. Zhang Xing muttered angrily, "This stinky boy, we are the only ones with poor management skills. If we squeeze and squeeze, we can always achieve 2,450 points, right? There is still room for improvement in mathematics," Chen Guoqing pointed out. Zhang Ming laughed and said, "This Zhang Cheng can really surprise us. This month, you teachers will practice hard. You can bring him to the office to practice in the evening self-study." "Hey, I can't wait." Zhang Xing rubbed his hands happily. If there is a good idea that can impact the capital, it is naturally impossible to let it go. Whether it can increase performance income for yourself, or enable students to enter a better platform. After reporting the scores, Chen Yuan ranked the total scores in order of high and low. First place, Zhang Cheng, 597 points. Second place, Zhang Peng, 588 points. Third place, Li Long, 585 points. Fourth place, Yu Xinren, 582 points. Fifth place, Chen Hao, 570 points. 34th place, Qin Jin, 364 points. Hash caret underscore caret hash. The score rankings came out quickly and were posted on the wall of the class. After the teacher was confused, it was time for the students to be confused again. Holy shit, first place, Zhang Cheng, 597 points. Is this cheating? You still corrected the wrong paper. How is that possible? Zhang Peng, who had always been ranked first, looked unhappy. He looked at Zhang Cheng's scores in various subjects and fell into silence. Yu Xinren also took a look and walked towards Zhang Cheng. "I want to know how you reviewed and actually got the first place in the exam." Yu Xinren felt incredible. From the initial score of 255 in the third model, to 494 points in the quiz, and then to 597 points in the fourth model. Did his test scores take a rocket? By the time you take the college entrance examination, will you have reached 690? Just thinking about it makes me dizzy. Zhang Cheng was not surprised, but he still felt that mathematics and physics were still holding him back. "Monitor, remember the milk tea you owe me." "I'm willing to admit defeat." Yu Xinren agreed. Qin Jin also smiled happily. He no longer wanted to compete with Zhang Cheng. This comparison was perverted. On the other hand, it was always difficult for him to score 300 points in the exam, but this time he actually scored 364 points. Chinese, 88 points. Mathematics, 70 points. English, 90 points. Science comprehensive, 116 points. The methods taught by Zhang Cheng are all used, specifically to improve Chinese and English, and they focus on the parts where it is easier to improve scores. As for mathematics and physics, he focused on reviewing simple questions. He only wanted to know the simple ones and get points. Qin Jin didn't even look at the other big questions and didn't spend half a minute on them. "Haha, Chengji, now I can go to a junior college." Qin Jin was extremely happy. Zhang Cheng raised his thumb and felt that Qin Jin had really put in the effort to review this month, and it was really good to get results. But it is unlikely that he will continue to achieve better results. It's good to know how to do it right, but it's also difficult for Qin Jin to master other difficult things. "Okay, let's choose a school in the same city later." "Okay." Qin Jin was in high spirits. "When I go to Guangdong province, I won't work anymore." No matter what others think or see, the fact that Zhang Cheng was ranked first from the bottom and won the first place in Class 9 of Senior Grade 3 is irrefutable. I heard that the school leaders were alarmed and checked Zhang Cheng's answer sheet. But in the end, it can only be explained that Zhang Cheng, who was originally smart, made mistakes due to online games before, but now turned back in time, worked hard, and his grades suddenly improved. Our school also needs to carry out special rectification. Students must not be allowed to go to internet cafes to play games anymore. Look, Zhang Cheng is the best example. What a good seedling, we can't let games ruin it. What Zhang Cheng didn't know was that many people in Guanggalan Middle School were suffering miserably because of him. The school, police station and families all joined forces to ban skipping classes and playing games online regardless of junior high school or high school. The spotlight began to shine on Zhang Cheng. In the afternoon, Zhang Cheng took his score slip and returned home. It's time to tell my parents. Dad, Mom, I'm back. It's rare that Zhang Yiping is also at home. Why are you back? Then I'll go cook some food. Chen Ru was a little surprised that Zhang Cheng had eaten at school at noon and evening before, but when he suddenly came back, there was really no food prepared at home. Zhang Cheng reached out and handed over the note. Mom, don't worry, these are the results of the fourth model. Take a look. Chen Ru's eyes lit up. The results are out. As he spoke, he hurriedly took it, but the next moment, he was confused. Zhang Yiping was also a little anxious, but he still maintained his image and coughed lightly. How much? Chen Ru's body started to tremble a little, and the hand holding the score sheet kept shaking. Chengji, is this really your report card? Well, can this still be fake? You can call teacher Zhang and ask. Zhang Cheng raised his lips slightly. Finally, I was able to reshape my image in the minds of my parents. Zhang Yiping was confused by what he heard, and walked over directly, took it and took a look. Chinese 134, Mathematics, total score 597, first in the class, 34th in the grade. Chen Ru's eyes were complicated. Although she believed it in her heart, she still wanted to confirm and dialed Zhang Ming's number directly. In the past, she had always attended parent-teacher meetings, and she had left the phone number of the head teacher. Hello, Teacher Zhang. Is this Zhang Cheng's parent? Hello. Zhang Ming's voice on the other side was filled with joy. Congratulations, Zhang Cheng, the fourth model, did well in the exam this time. He is first in the class. As long as he performs normally in the college entrance examination, there should be nothing wrong with the key undergraduate courses. Question. Bang, the Nokia in his hand fell down. Chengji, you. Chen Ru's eyes suddenly welled up with tears, and she couldn't stop them. My baby is going to be successful. Mom. Zhang Cheng wiped the corners of his eyes while holding back tears. I went upstairs to read. Yiping, you see, Chengji is really promising. He got 597. Chen Ru stopped picking up her cell phone, took Zhang Yiping's arm, and talked excitedly. Zhang Yiping's mood changed quickly. Okay, I saw it. Lady boss, come and pay for Xingsheng. At this time, a middle-aged man stopped in front of the store, took out 20 yuan and raised his hand. Chen Ru wiped tears from her eyes, and a smile suddenly appeared on her face. She took a pack of cigarettes and handed them over without taking the money. She was about to close the store immediately. Brother, we won't do business today. I'll give you cigarettes. What? The man looked confused. Chen Ru was as proud as a peacock. My son is going to be successful. After the fourth model, Zhang Cheng instantly became the hottest topic of conversation in Guanggalan Middle School. Going from last to first is inspiring in itself. Not to mention the past when Zhang Cheng was called Cheng Ruffian, how many people had heard of his name. However, for Zhang Cheng, these are just passing thoughts. What is really useful is the knowledge he has learned. 597, which is still far from his college entrance examination goal. Here, you won the milk tea. Yu Xinren handed over the milk tea with a smile. Zhang Cheng took it with ice. Thank you, monitor. I have to thank you. I have made progress in several subjects in this mock test. Yu Xinren smiled, gave him another classmate, and then waved and left. As soon as Yu Xinren left, Qin Jin's eyebrows jumped up. You too. While speaking, his two fingers were still making gestures. Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes at him. What are you thinking about? Come on, let's see what the class monitor wrote. Qin Jin saw the classmate list and came over again. Zhang Cheng handed him the lower one. Take it, it's yours. Then I took a quick look and saw that it was just some personal information and messages. When you make the right choice, the future will be bright and the road ahead will be bright. Fortunately, you are already on the road, and there are poems and flowers in the distance. Bless us who are persistent in pursuing our dreams, and may you fly higher and go further. Zhang Cheng then pretended to return it to his classmates' directory. These classmate records will be treasured after they are written, and will be remembered in the future. As soon as the evening self-study began, Zhang Cheng took out the Wangang secret volume and prepared to start working on it. Zhang Cheng, come over to the office. But at this time, Zhang Ming suddenly came over and shouted. Zhang Chenggong's ready-to-fight state was suddenly interrupted. Okay. Although he didn't know what was going on, Zhang Cheng still responded, stood up, and was ready to leave. Zhang Ming glanced at the Wangang secret paper on his desk and said, bring the mathematics and comprehensive science papers with you as well. Zhang Cheng was a little confused. But I did it anyway. As soon as he entered the classroom office, Zhang Xing and others saw him under the lights. Zhang Cheng, come here quickly, let's practice physics first. Why should I do physics first? Chemistry is also important to me. Zhang Xing said with a serious face, he is the worst in physics, so he needs to focus on improving physics. Zhang Cheng. Operator, what's going on? Zhang Xing walked in front and pulled Zhang Cheng over, look at your 4 model scores. The most points were deducted in physics. Could it be that I didn't teach well? No. Zhang Cheng was surprised by Zhang Xing's serious look and said hurriedly, Teacher Zhang taught the class well, but my foundation was too weak before. Then, let's focus on review tonight. Let me see where the problem lies. As he spoke, Zhang Xing asked Zhang Cheng to sit next to him and took out a blank 4-modulus comprehensive paper. Remember where the points were deducted? Remember. Zhang Cheng nodded and pointed to a few multiple choice questions and the big questions at the back. Here is the scratch paper. Tell me what you were thinking at the time. Charged particles are repulsed during motion, so they are positively charged. I know that option A is wrong. I also know that option B is that point C is further away and has a weaker charge, which is wrong. But for option CD, I know I still don't have a grasp of it. Let me tell you about the potential difference and kinetic energy change. Zhang Xing opened the book, starting from the definition and examples, and finally extended to other examples, which made Zhang Cheng suddenly enlightened. One was speaking, the other was listening, and the lights in the office were on for a long time. In addition to listening to explanations on the mistakes made by the 4 models, Zhang Cheng also made a set of secret papers. Zhang Xing was very pleasantly surprised. Zhang Cheng's memory was so good that he was very familiar with the knowledge points in books and explanations. It's really a treasure found. No wonder he was able to improve so much in other areas. No, physics must also be improved. After completing the secret paper, Zhang Xing and Zhang Cheng checked the answers together. For a 100-point physics question, 18 points were deducted and the score was 82 points. After explaining the wrong question, Zhang Xing actually felt that Zhang Cheng still had room for improvement. You still have some weaknesses in electromagnetism and mechanics. You should focus on training in the near future. Seeing that the time had reached 10:30, Zhang Xing made a summary for the night. There were only 2 people in the teacher's office. Zhang Cheng stood up and bowed to thank. I understand, thank you teacher. For teachers to spend so much time and energy cultivating themselves, Zhang Cheng could see that they valued and expected him. After that, Zhang Cheng spent every night in the teacher's office. First, there is dedicated one-on-one guidance in physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology, and then there is further strengthening and improvement of Chinese and English. When the college entrance examination was approaching, Zhang Cheng got high scores of 612 and 625 in 2 consecutive mock tests, except for the essay. This made the 6 teachers' eyes gleam, and they pinned their hopes for Mizuki and Kyoto this year on Zhang Cheng. As for the rockets class, although the current number 1 Chen Hanlin has a chance, he is still not stable enough, between 650 and 670. June 4th is the last day of classes. The weather was a bit dull and overcast, and it felt like it was going to rain. For many years, every college entrance examination has always been cloudy and rainy. The last class was hosted by Zhang Ming. There was no more class, but more emphasis on matters related to the college entrance examination, including stationery to bring, admission ticket, etc. Afterwards, Zhang Ming spoke sensationally for a while. During the 3 years of high school, Zhang Ming also taught and served as the class teacher for 3 years. He is very familiar with every student in the class. In the 2 months since the college entrance examination, he has become even more emotional. Zhang Cheng suddenly became diligent and studious, and his grades improved rapidly day by day. Under his influence, the students all took up classes and their grades increased to varying degrees. Quote, Please everyone calm down and go into battle with ease. I wish you perseverance and immediate success. As the bell rings, the high school career is about to come to an end. Degree. Zhang Cheng prepared everything he needed for the college entrance examination, relaxed his mind, and started the college entrance examination. On the contrary, Zhang Yiping and Chen Ru were extremely nervous, and they kept trying to persuade Zhang Cheng not to be nervous. Zhang Yiping didn't go to work and drove a pickup truck to send him to take the exam. During the exam, Zhang Yiping was waiting in the car. He kept smoking and waited nervously for the end. Among the following words, the group without typos is A. Exaggerate, candidate, instantly, without any hesitation. B. Look closely, drop out of school, sit in charge, blame everything but others. C. Guo Kui swallows up the spirit and doesn't bother to talk. D. Bewitch Zhang Cheng, Chinla, cause trouble. At a glance, it's simple. Zhang Cheng filled in the answer directly. There are actually some changes in the composition. A short essay, 15 points, describing Lu Xuan. One major essay, 50 points. Mencius said, a gentleman has 3 kinds of happiness. Having both parents and having brothers for no reason is one kind of happiness. Looking up to heaven and not being ashamed of others is the second kind of happiness. Getting the world's talented people and educating them is the third kind of happiness. Mencius, do your best close double angle bracket. That is to say, talk about the joy of life. Zhang Cheng's thoughts suddenly came to him at this time, and he wrote nearly 1,000 words eloquently, feeling somewhat satisfied. The Chinese language test is over. As the bell rang, I quickly handed in my papers and left the school. Seeing Zhang Yiping, who was hesitant to speak, Zhang Cheng smiled and replied, I feel okay. Good. Next, there are mathematics, comprehensive science, and English. Along the way, Zhang Cheng felt that his mind was running very fast, and he gave full play to the various knowledge points he had memorized in the past 2 months in every exam. For the mathematics and science comprehensive examinations, Zhang Cheng was even more meticulous, checking the results as if he was carrying an advanced computer. Unless there are some problems, Zhang Cheng is very confident. The college entrance examination, with rain and gloom, is finally over. After the English test, the dark clouds in Guangdong dispersed and the sun hung in the western sky. Chen Ru closed the shop and Zhang Cheng came to pick her up. Are you exhausted? Whatever you want to eat tonight, Mom will make a big meal. Chen Ru smiled on her face. I want to eat steamed eggs and fried eggplant and meat. Okay, Mom will do it. Chen Ru smiled. From returning to the 3rd year of high school to the end of the college entrance examination today. During the entire 58 days, Zhang Cheng devoted himself wholeheartedly to reading, reviewing, and doing questions without any distraction. At the end of the college entrance examination, Zhang Cheng felt as if a huge stone had been dropped. With the blessing of the plug-in, he also made efforts. Although the results have not yet come out, it can be said that the fate of his previous life has been rewritten. What lies before him will be a new avenue. Dad, Mom, Chin and I go to the internet cafe. After taking a rest after dinner, Zhang Cheng stood up and said. Zhang Yiping nodded, go ahead, don't play too late. I know. Zhang Cheng nodded. After the college entrance examination, his parents no longer worry about him going to an internet cafe. Of course, the reason Zhang Cheng went to the internet cafe was not to play games. After making an appointment with Qin Jin, the two entered the Weiwang Internet Cafe. Chengji, mirror, you haven't been here for a long time. Brother Chen, the owner of the Internet Cafe, was cashing out. He saw Zhang Cheng and the two of them and said hello with a smile. Zhang Cheng took out his ID card and said, no way, it's the college entrance examination. Oh, by the way, I forgot that you are both in your senior year of high school, haha. Brother Chen was shirtless, raised his hand to take their ID cards, and started to open the cards. Network administrator, your broken machine has a black screen again. At this time, a man next to him stood up and shouted. Brother Chen felt overwhelmed, so he quickly opened the card and then passed by. What's going on? I was playing Crossfire, and suddenly the screen went black. The man looked depressed. I'm going to win soon. I'm sorry, Please switch to the machine next to you, and I'll switch to it for you. Zhang Cheng asked, what's going on? The graphics card died again. Hey. Brother Chen sighed. I asked Pincheng's master to come over and take a look. 2 machines have been installed today. Zhang Cheng smiled and said, it's not easy to open an internet cafe. That's right, if something goes wrong this way or that way, it'll be hard to get back to where we started. Brother Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly as he knew his own affairs. Okay, let's go play. Then the 2 of them found a place nearby and sat down. Chengji, would you like to play 2 games of Dota together today? Okay. Although Zhang Cheng was no longer interested in games, Qin Jin wanted to play together, so he accompanied him. As usual, after searching for the password for a long time, Zhang Cheng finally logged into the Haofeng platform. After the waiting time of 9 masters waiting for a grandson, they entered the game. 11 years of gaming. Zhang Cheng looked a little familiar and yet a little unfamiliar with this game. Because it was a long time ago, although Zhang Cheng generally remembered the hero skills, some specific damage, numerical values, and even some skills were different and he was not familiar with them. The first choice in my hand is Xiaohei. The black bow grows well, but the damage in the early stage is not high before level 6. After level 6, the ultimate move adds agility, which makes it possible for her to become a later stage. Qin Jin was assisted by a witch doctor. Let's go, I'll help you on the way down. But then, Zhang Chengcheng became depressed. Even if your initial attack is higher than mine, you still steal my soldiers. Gotta get serious. Attack damage, attack speed, trajectory calculation, and movement data. In an instant, the brain began to calculate. Data is spinning in your mind. When replenishing troops, Zhang Cheng's Xiaohei stood there motionless, waiting for the last move, and passed with A. Sometimes, Zhang Cheng would cheat and replenish his troops, forcing the opponent's hero to take action first, but in the next microsecond, Zhang Cheng would replenish his troops. Of the 3 waves of soldiers, 1 was robbed by my own witch doctor, and the rest were all taken. Unless it is impossible to take both positive and negative measures into account, the counterattack against Zhang Cheng will basically be enough to make up for it. Haha, Chengji, you are so good at your level. You are 2 levels ahead of this man. Qin Jin was very happy. When Zhang Cheng's Xiaohei passed level 6, he began to close in the wild. Soon Zhang Cheng came out with the hidden knife. On the screen, Zhang Cheng started to cut the screen. Be careful, someone is here to catch you. After Zhang Cheng made his decision, he stopped replenishing the soldiers in front of him and withdrew directly to the forest behind the tower, TPing directly in the next second. With the hidden knife, straw sandals and a lace, Zhang Cheng went on the road invisible. Guarding the retreat, he launched a hidden attack. First blood. Double kill. Zhang Cheng collected the heads accurately. On the bottom lane, Qin advanced and retreated slowly, and used his ultimate move to die in seconds. The next rhythm was very smooth for Zhang Cheng. Flying shoes, hidden knife. Then came cannon, black king, jumping knife, and butterfly. Not even blood-sucking. Kill gods when you see them, kill Buddhas when you see them. Especially when going up high, when his teammates rushed to the high ground and were about to be killed by concentrated fire, Zhang Cheng cut in with his jumping knife. He was silent and killed the ice girl with 2 arrows. Then half a second before the control skill expired, the Black Emperor staff was activated, and Ice Arrow A was launched. Super God goes berserk. On the public screen. Report. Xiaohei is cheating. That's right, it's so shameless. Do you have the guts to have another one? We have a 6th person here, and we're having a great time sending him off. Xiaohei is level 25, but his opponent's highest level is not even 20, and his highest mid laner is only level 23. Game over. It feels so good. It feels so good. Qin Jin laughed, jumped up, and screamed with joy. He just follows his elder brother and takes action when he sees the situation. Don't even worry about your own safety. As long as the opponent fights back, he will die. Zhang Cheng smiled and said nothing, hiding his merit and fame. Chengji, why are you so powerful all of a sudden? If you weren't right next to me, I would have thought you were cheating. Qin Jin grabbed Zhang Cheng's hand and said excitedly. Zhang Cheng's lips raised slightly, Ji Sao, don't do it. Seeing that there were still people shouting on the public screen, Qin Jin looked at Zhang Cheng. Shall we have another round? Zhang Cheng agreed, so the second set became Zhang Cheng's personal show again. Okay, no more fighting, you can play. Zhang Cheng turned off Haofeng, who no longer felt much about the game. Cheating and beating up elementary school students is boring. Qin Jin nodded, still thinking about it, and even downloaded the video to watch it carefully. Zhang Cheng smiled and didn't care. He is short of money now and is going to find some ways to make money online. If it comes down to craftsmanship, Zhang Cheng can also repair computers, but this is a small county, and there are more computers in internet cafes. There are also LX and Pincheng computer stores that also do repairs. As for ways to make money on the internet, Bitcoin is a good investment, but it all comes with capital. What's more, Zhang Cheng's impression is that it will take 13 or 15 years for the price to rise. In addition, writing online articles is also a good way. Zhang Cheng's impression is that there are many great people who have made tens of millions of dollars in income in recent years. But these are not things that can make money in a short time. In addition, translation is also a channel for online part-time jobs. While there was still some time, Zhang Cheng registered an account on the online Chengxi Chinese website platform and became an author with the pen name, Zhang Yi Sufeng. At this time, a voice next to him rang. Boss Chen, is the card you chose not good? I feel like you have used 4 or 5 cards in the past few days. Zhang Cheng turned around and saw a man wearing Pincheng clothes dismantling the phone. I don't know either. Brother Chen was helpless. It's summer vacation soon, and 1 less card means 1 less machine, which costs dozens of dollars less per day. Zhang Cheng also repaired computers in his previous life. He felt very interested and walked over. The Pincheng man inserted and pulled out the card several times, but there was still no response. It's probably useless. You know the graphics card is hard to repair if it breaks. It's useless again. Brother Chen was speechless. This meant that he had to spend hundreds of dollars again. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll take this card back and look at it again, but don't get your hopes up. Would you like me to see it? Zhang Cheng was speechless at the man beside him. He didn't do anything, so he just said he wanted to change. Look, but you don't know how to repair it. What can you do? You have to change it again. Brother Chen waved his hand and said helplessly. The Pincheng man's expression immediately turned bad. Who are you? Do you know how to use computers? Sorry, I know a little more than you. Haha, you guy who doesn't have all his hair, you. Zhang Cheng stared at him coldly. Bring the card. Seeing this situation, Brother Chen also said, Master Wang, show it to him. Snort. Taking the card in his hand, Zhang Cheng looked at it and saw that it was a colorful cloud graphics card. Then Zhang Cheng was ready to insert it back and give it a try. But his habit was still bad. He plugged the power cord in without unplugging it, and another burst of electricity hit his fingers. Isn't it? Could it be happening again? This sentence flashed in Zhang Cheng's mind. But fortunately, he thought too much, and the power supply voltage of the graphics card was not high. Nothing went dark again, but in Zhang Cheng's mind, there was a screen flash. What's going on? Zhang Cheng was also speechless. On the computer screen, there was a slight flash. Zhang Cheng estimated that the problem was not too big. Small screwdriver. Zhang Cheng stretched out his hand. A master moves. The Pincheng man subconsciously took the tools and went over. After unplugging the graphics card, Zhang Cheng took it apart directly. It was initially estimated that it was a faulty soldering problem. He also asked Da Chen to get a hot air blower and blew it for a while. Press the memory slightly, put it back and continue booting. The display lights up. I quickly entered the internet cafe's system. Brother Da Chen, it's okay. Zhang Cheng stood up and said to Da Chen. That's great, Chengji, I didn't expect you to understand this. Da Chen was very happy, and suddenly felt like hundreds of dollars were back. The Pincheng man's face turned red and white for a while. It's just bad luck. While talking, the person walked directly out. Da Chen spat. Pincheng's repairs are too bad. I won't cooperate with them next time. We are looking for someone reliable. Zhang Cheng nodded, and then said, we are going back. Okay, thank you this time. I'll give you a free day next time. Da Chen patted his chest and said, it's a deal. Afterwards, Zhang Cheng left the internet cafe with Qin Jin, who had just taken the opportunity. After arriving at home, Zhang Cheng entered the room again. He vaguely felt that something had changed inside his body. Guanggalan night. Zhang Cheng's room faced the river and was in the attic, so it was somewhat noisy. However, as the night went on, it became quiet. Just like every night after self-study, Zhang Cheng was quiet and fresh at home. Zhang Cheng is now ready to test the plug-in in his body. Obviously, it had something to do with the computer hardware Zhang Cheng touched when traveling through time. This time he touched the charged graphics card, and he once again felt familiar. If the CPU, memory, hard drive and motherboard entered the body after the previous electric shock, then this time, it is most likely the graphics card. Zhang Cheng guessed to himself. But Zhang Cheng also felt something was wrong. The previous CPU also had a core display, so why didn't he feel the presence of the graphics card before? Close your eyes and meditate. There was chaos in my mind. But there was a quick flash across the circuit. On, off, 1, 0. Yes, there is still a core display, otherwise, Zhang Cheng can only understand binary on and off, and cannot convert it into decimal numbers at all, nor can he remember so many words and pictures. But this graphics card is much better than the core graphics card. The graphics card is GTS 450, 2G video memory, 192 stream processors, and the video memory frequency is 3696 MHz. There is no problem at all when playing current mainstream games. In his mind, Zhang Cheng felt that after a while, the system seemed to be activated. Some images seem clearer. Zhang Cheng was even able to condense the system's desktop. Several XP computer icons that can be used appear in my mind. My computer, online neighborhood, control panel, calculator, Word 2003, Excel 2003, PowerPoint 2003. In addition, Zhang Cheng could see that there were icons such as painting and qianqianjingting. Good guy, I really have XP in my body. When I clicked on my computer, nothing happened. I can't see the so-called hard drive, nor can I see the so-called computer information. When I clicked network connection, it showed, unable to connect to the network, please check the network settings. As for the calculator, Zhang Cheng found that it could also be opened on the desktop. It was similar to ordinary calculator software and could be used for input calculations. But of course, Zhang Cheng felt that just looking at the formula and calculating the result would be enough. It completely saves you the troublesome input steps. The interface that Word opens is similar to that on a computer. However, these words can appear directly on the page as long as Zhang Cheng's mind moves. After solidification, unlike voice input, thoughts can be converted at will, affecting the input. Zhang Cheng can write whatever he wants, just like his own arm. Open one's eyes. There was still a familiar room in front of him, as if the system in his mind was just a dream. Having an independent graphics card seems to have given Zhang Cheng a computer that can be stored in his mind. It can not only cooperate with the operation of thinking, but also become an independent computer to process various data, just like a portable notebook. Zhang Cheng vaguely felt that it was of great use. For example, Zhang Cheng can record videos of what his eyes see. After looking around the room, Zhang Cheng recorded it as a video and saved the thoughts in my computer. Then, he closed his eyes and entered the body system again. The originally empty my computer showed a drive letter, D drive, with a video file in it. Click to play. The desktop in my mind instantly turned into a video interface, playing back the record I just looked around at. Just like a high-definition video. Without a discrete graphics card, Zhang Cheng would have doubted whether he could play such high-definition videos. However, because Zhang Cheng was fully prepared for the college entrance examination, he was also worried that the experiment would cause adverse consequences and did not conduct the experiment again. The internal system can play it, but what about watching it directly? Opening his eyes again, Zhang Cheng replayed everything he had seen before. This time, it was still so clear. Not only that, Zhang Cheng can stop at any time and zoom in on any place at any time, and all the details will be reflected in his mind. Brain cells are much more powerful than so-called independent graphics cards. It's just that ordinary people can't use it. Zhang Cheng, with the plugin, he can. He decided to define this magical plugin. In vivo systems, defined as internal computers. The system that is really in the mind is defined as a biological computer. The computer inside your body is simulated by yourself using these computer hardware, that's all. Because of the existence of dual systems, Zhongcheng can use it to do two things. And the i5-2300 has 4 cores and 4 threads. Not bad, I finally have some understanding. Zhongcheng was a little happy and did not intend to continue studying. He turned off the light and lay on the bed. Zhongcheng plans to try writing online articles. But instead of typing it by hand, I try it on a physical computer. Internet articles at this time were also relatively popular, such as Doupo, Yongsheng, etc. Zhongcheng remembered that in his previous life, Shenji's Galaxy Emperor had received a reward of 100 million coins, which was equivalent to 1 million yuan. Zhongcheng was reading a book at the time and happened to meet this moment. Really in the cloud. Later I read a lot of books and wrote a few, but they all came to nothing and I didn't make a few cents. But he still has some ideas on how to write online articles that people like to read. It has to be fun, but also have some level of proficiency. Too white, no way. Today's readers are very cunning. They don't read things that are too white, too deep, too plain, and too watery. These are the 4 don'ts, summarized by Zhongcheng himself. Of course, it is not easy to write a good online article. Not to mention how much information needs to be checked, just conceiving these plots consumes a lot of brain cells. Zhongcheng thought for a while and initially wanted to write an article on architectural history. Of course, before that, Zhongcheng needs to do 2 things. The first is to read widely excellent online articles so that you can write smoothly. The second is to read extensively all kinds of information about a certain dynasty so that you can write well. Well, let's just write about a young man who traveled through an imaginary dynasty and used his profound and erudite knowledge to become a capable minister with both civil and military skills, from an assistant to an uncrowned king. You also need to be able to imitate antique writing styles. To describe it in detail, you also need to understand a little bit about ancient economy, society, commerce, agriculture, etiquette, imperial examinations, etc. I feel like there is still a lot to learn. First, I created a folder and wrote the name, Jinjie. The day after the college entrance examination, Guangdong Middle School organized a score evaluation. Some of the answers to college entrance examination papers are basically published online, and some are made by teachers working overtime. It's called the reference answer. Zhongcheng held the paper and looked at the answers. I'm dizzy. I still got 2 wrong answers on the multiple choice questions. Qin Jin checked the Chinese language and scratched his hair in distress. However, only 6 points were deducted, which is already good. Zhongcheng patted Qin Jin on the shoulder and sped up the answer. The Chinese language is not bad. Even in terms of reading comprehension, Zhongcheng can finally, basically understand the author's crossed out, author of the paper intention. The subjective score for the composition is also relatively large. Zhongcheng estimated the score to be between 128 and 138, with the temporary median score being 134. Mathematics, there should be no points deduction. To be safer, the estimated score is between 140 and 150 points, and the median is 145 points for now. For English, the essay needs to be estimated. The estimated score ranges from 142 to 148 points, and the median score is temporarily taken as 145 points. In general, the overall situation is good. There are a few slightly off-topic questions. Zhongcheng still has the wrong idea. The estimated score is between 270 and 280 points, and the median point is 275 points. The total score is estimated to be around 699 points. An hour later, Qin Jin tugged on Zhongcheng's sleeve. Chengji, how much do you estimate? What about you? I guess you're ready. Hey, I don't even remember what answers I chose. I guess the score is more than 370. Qin Jin grinned. Zhongcheng raised his thumb and said, okay, you performed well. You can choose any junior college. Hey, Orange, what about you? Me, it should be optional. Zhongcheng handed over the estimated note. On the white paper, Tian Kai neatly wrote the estimated score. 699 points. Holy shit, it's true, you pervert. Qin Jin couldn't help shouting. Zhang Cheng hurriedly grabbed him. What are you doing? I was surprised. The classroom has been noisy, and some students around are looking here, but they are still evaluating their scores. Zhang Ming felt a little uneasy and walked over now. Zhang Cheng, are you ready? Based on my initial estimate, it's around 690. Zhang Cheng didn't speak too loudly. Zhang Ming suddenly smiled and his wrinkles were squeezed together. Okay. There is an estimated score of 690, even if the estimate is lower, there is always 670 to 680. Haha, next time, I can finally walk to Rocket Class 1 and Class 2 with pride. If the Rocket Class can't pass the test, I will take the test in Class 9. If the Rocket Class can't get into Mizuki Kyoto, I will take the test in Class 9. Zhang Ming took Zhang Cheng's estimated score, and the more he looked at it, the happier he became. The median value was more than 690. If the score was good, wouldn't it be like going to heaven? You can wait for your grades with peace of mind. You don't have to apply for undergraduate studies in advance. Good. Zhang Cheng's estimated scores quickly spread. However, under Zhang Ming's suggestion, the estimated score was lowered to 670 points. Although the actual score may be higher, this is not necessary because Zhang Cheng waited for the score to come out before filling in his application. In the early 2000s, everyone still estimated the scores and filled out the application form. Many people could not estimate the scores accurately and the schools they entered were not good. But that's not the case anymore. After the scores are released, 1 or 2 books will be released to control the score lines, so that everyone can choose a school more targetedly. Of course, some good schools and good majors still have very high scores. Yu Xinren performed well and was relatively stable, and is expected to score around 580. The top 5 talents in Class 9 can all enter the Rocket Class. After evaluating the scores, Zhang Ming sent everyone a guide for filling out the college entrance examination application form. It contains the codes of each university, tuition guidance for each major, and the admission scores of the university in recent years. There are also many school advertisements inserted into it. Qin Jin felt a little headache looking at these schools. There are also many vocational colleges, and it's hard to know which schools are good and which are bad. What should I do? Which school should I choose then? Don't worry, we'll wait until the scores come out. Zhang Cheng looked at it briefly and wrote down the guide. Qin Jin felt resentful and said, "You are not in a hurry. You can choose whatever you want." Zhang Cheng raised his lips slightly. It should be okay. Qin Jin raised his middle finger. After the evaluation, it's time to relax again. Before Zhang Cheng left, teacher Zhang Ming asked them to stay for a while. Yu Xinren was a little surprised. Is there anything else you can do later? Maybe it's something to do with the college entrance examination application. Zhang Cheng didn't quite understand and guessed. Sorry, in 2 lifetimes, this is the first time we have scored so high in the exam, so we have no experience. Qin Jin had already left happily. He wants to ask his father to prepare tuition fees. Apart from Zhang Cheng and Yu Xinren, the only people left in the class are Zhang Peng, Li Long and Chen Hao. Several people also gathered towards Zhang Chengchu. Zhang Cheng, you are too perverted. Zhang Peng didn't believe Zhang Cheng's high estimate, but he estimated that around 600 was possible. After all, Zhang Cheng got such a high score in the 4th model. Zhang Cheng laughed. No, I just spent more time reviewing. Li Long took out his mobile phone and said, let's add a mobile phone number so that we can keep in touch when we are in university. Yes, there is also Chenko. Zhang Peng agreed and took out his mobile phone, but there was no comment between the few of them. The 3 of them looked at Zhang Cheng and Yu Xinren. I haven't bought a mobile phone yet. Zhang Cheng shook his head. What about Yu Xinren? What about yours? The 3 of them are still enthusiastic. Zhang Chengran, Daqing just wanted Yu Xinren's phone number. But yes, this is a science class after all. There are few girls in the class, and Yu Xinren is already the most beautiful one in the class. According to internet literature, she can also be regarded as the beauty of the class. However, Guangalin is only a small place and will not select these fancy places. Yu Xinren reported her mobile phone number, 1,360,794***. Zhang Cheng also wrote it down incidentally. Several people quickly took note of it, and Li Long added, the ID number has also been added. I'll pass it when I have time. There are classmates registered, and there are all the deduction numbers. Zhang Cheng felt that it was necessary to buy a mobile phone. Zhang Cheng, you bought a mobile phone, remember to send the number. Yu Xinren said. Li Long added, I've created a class group, but I haven't added anyone yet. Why don't I add all my classmates? Okay. Yu Xinren nodded. Everyone spent some time playing with their cell phones and Cuckoo Group, and then Zhang Ming came. Several people were sitting in the back row. Zhang Ming took a stack of information and handed it to Zhang Peng in front. Please pass it along for a look. Zhang Mingdao said, this is some college entrance examination information that I have collected in the past 2 years. It contains the approximate rankings of different schools and majors, as well as the minimum admission scores for majors. You can refer to them. At this time, everyone was very enthusiastic. After all, they are just high school students who have just taken the college entrance examination. I have not been extensively exposed to the internet and all kinds of information. In the ivory tower, I have no idea which schools and majors are good. Zhang Cheng, what major do you plan to choose? Zhang Ming asked him first with a smile. As for school, can't we just fill it out with our eyes closed? Let's go to the computer. Zhang Cheng said directly, having already made his decision. Zhang Ming nodded, well, the computers at Shuimu, Kyoto and Guok are all very strong. Then he asked, where is Xinren? I plan to major in finance and financial management. Yu Xinren also has his own goals and directions. Well, you have many schools to choose from, but it's difficult to choose the key points. Your parents are experienced and they will help you check. Yu Xinren's mother was also a teacher, so Zhang Ming didn't need to worry too much. Then he chatted with Zhang Peng and others for a while before letting them go. Whether it's for score estimation or scoring, someone from the admissions office may contact you. If you don't know which school to go to, don't be anxious and don't agree too early. When leaving, Zhang Ming specially reminded Zhang Cheng. This is actually one of the main reasons for keeping him. Zhang Cheng did not go home, but went to the library in Guanggalan. Because it is a county-level library, it is not very big. It is a small dilapidated building with 3 floors filled with various books. There are not many books in the collection, and most of the books are quite old. After spending 100 yuan as a deposit, Zhang Cheng applied for a library card. The deposit is refundable when the card is returned. Zhang Cheng went directly to the history bookshelf. The old books were older and dusty. New books are also old, but they are not old because they have been used, they are old because they have not been read. After picking up the new Tang book, Zhang Cheng stood on the shelf and read it. Zonghua Book Company, 1975 edition. Whether the characters were arranged vertically or in traditional Chinese, Zhang Cheng still felt a little strenuous after reading it for a while. Zhang Cheng knew all these traditional Chinese characters after memorizing them in a dictionary. But Zhang Cheng was far from being able to understand the meaning of these ancient texts at a glance. Zhang Cheng plans to frame a novel with reference to the history of the Tang dynasty. It's better to read the ancient books a little later, and read the vernacular ones first before talking about them. Exchange books. Zhang Cheng took a brief look at the historical books related to the Tang dynasty. There were about 10 books in the library. After flipping through a book, I started my borrowing journey directly. A history book, New Book of Tang Dynasty, and a vernacular book, a detailed description of Sui and Tang dynasties. Another book I chose was Computer Language and Programming. One is interest and the other is professional. Double line starts. In the following life after the college entrance examination, Zhang Cheng's life began to become boring again. Of course, that's relative to Qin Jin. Zhang Cheng enjoyed it himself. Traditional Chinese characters. Zhang Cheng is already familiar with modern Chinese dictionaries and has no problem mastering them. With the help of many ancient Chinese translations and sihai, Zhang Cheng also gained a certain level of learning ancient Chinese. At least, Zhang Cheng read all these ancient texts, new and old Tang books, in the past half-month. Although some of the knowledge involved in etiquette, official positions, architecture, agriculture, etc. are not yet fully understood, the historical context of the entire Tang dynasty and the deeds of the main figures have a clear logical line. It's time to start writing, making up. The created folder was opened, and the outline began to be sorted out. Chapter 1, Returning on a Snowy Night. It was the winter of the third year of Shining in the Jin dynasty. Zhang Cheng was multitasking, saving one thought to cooperate with the computer in his body to quickly build an outline and main line, and then began to write the first chapter. But he lives a normal life and studies. The computer in your body, you are already a mature computer, you should be able to write books by yourself. No wonder it needs multiple cores to make it easier to use. This is just an i5 2300. If it uses the 3990X from the previous life, wouldn't it take off? Sorry, I like to play with counting frames. Chengji, I'll take you to buy a mobile phone today. In June, when the lotus seeds started to be picked, Zhang Yiping was very busy. He rarely found free time in the evening and planned to take Zhang Cheng to buy a mobile phone. For this reason, Chen Ru had scolded him many times. Zhang Cheng has graduated and should have a mobile phone. Okay. Zhang Cheng shook his sore neck, stood up and followed. You need to go out for a walk properly, and you can't stay and read all the time, Chen Ru said aside. Also, Pingzi, just buy what you want, don't save money. I know, Zhang Yiping responded. There are several mobile phone stores on Cross Street. The two entered the store. There are not many types of mobile phones sold in the store, mostly Samsung, HTC, Nokia, Motorola, etc. There are also some domestic Android phones, mainly mid to low end. Zhang Cheng didn't think much about these mobile phones. The processor is not powerful and the configuration is also very low. 2 million photos can be promoted as if it is awesome. Strong standby is the way to go. Finally, Zhang Cheng chose a Nokia E72i mobile phone. A first-generation machine with a full keyboard. If you open a temporary card, you only need to use it for a few months. The college entrance examination scores will be released around 10:30 noon on June 23. As the time approached, the senior high school students became inexplicably nervous. Just after breakfast in the morning, Zhang Cheng helped guard the store while looking at the Computer C language book in his hand. Jingle bell. At this time, the phone rang. Chen Ru put down what she was doing and reached out to take it. Hey, hello. Hello, are you Zhang Cheng's home? I am his mother, you are. Hello, this is the admissions office of Shuimu University. Congratulations, eldest sister. Your son's college entrance examination results are very good. Does he want to study any major? We at Shuimu University. The voice coming from the phone made Chen Ru confused for a moment. Zhang Cheng put down the book and asked, Mom, what's wrong? Where's the phone number? It says he's from Shuimu University. Come on, Chengji, pick him up yourself. Chen Jiyu was still a little unable to react, so he hurriedly called Zhang Cheng over to answer the phone. When Zhang Cheng heard this, he understood in his heart. In my previous life, I heard that some colleges and universities would rob people, but I didn't expect that I would be treated like this today. He picked up the phone and said, Hello, this is Zhang Cheng. Hello, classmate Zhang. Congratulations in advance for being among the top 10 in Karlin province. I don't know what major you want to study. You can consider our Shuimu University. What are your conditions? The other party did not expect Zhang Cheng to be so calm and asked directly about the conditions. You can choose any major, a scholarship of 40,000 yuan for freshmen, and free tuition. Can I choose 2 majors at the same time? Yes, we offer dual degree options. Computer science and technology and software engineering. If you agree, I will apply. Zhang Cheng said directly. Okay, we'll bring the contract over here right away. The admissions office of Shuimu University didn't expect it to go so smoothly, but before hanging up, he still said, Student Zhang, no matter which school contacts you later, be sure to ask you. Don't worry, Zhang Cheng replied and hung up the phone directly. Chen Ru listened calmly as Zhang Cheng spoke, but her heart was beating fast, and joy flooded her face. Chengji, you can't be a liar, the scores haven't even been released yet. Zhang Cheng shook his head and said with a smile, Mom, don't worry, he is a liar and we haven't been deceived, so why not? You just believe in your son. But then the phone rang again. Zhang Cheng answered directly. Hello, are you Zhang Cheng? I'm from the admissions office of Kyoto University. Zhang Cheng interrupted him directly. Sorry, I have already chosen a school. Is it Shuimu University? Student Zhang, please don't make a decision in a hurry. You can listen to our conditions in Kyoto. What do you think? No, thank you. Zhang Cheng hung up the phone. Chen Ru was always in shock. Kyoto University. Then Noriko, why don't you listen to their conditions? Both Mizuki and Kyoto are the best universities. Zhang Cheng shrugged, I plan to study computer science. In this major, Mizuki's is better. Chen Ru paused, Chengji, you have grown up, you can make your own decisions. After checking the time, Zhang Cheng said, I'm going to school. As early as yesterday, Zhang Ming notified Zhang Cheng's top 10 classmates to go to the school computer room to check their scores. At this time, many people do not have computers at home, and it is not very convenient to access the internet. Okay, but Chengji, you're not in a hurry yourself. Let's take a look at the scores first. Chen Ru advised. But as soon as Zhang Cheng left, Chen Ru couldn't help pinching herself, and then shouted with a smile, it's not a dream, it's not a dream. __angle reference mark. Guangulin Middle School, computer room. When it was past 10 o'clock, there were already many people in the computer room. Except for those who had computers at home, students with higher scores came over. Zhang Cheng. Yu Xinren came in to say hello and walked to Zhang Cheng's side. Zhang Peng, Li Long, and Chen Hao were also there. Zhang Cheng responded with a smile, how are you doing lately? I'm going on a trip. I'm exhausted from 3 years of high school and I haven't been anywhere. Yu Xinren said with a smile on her face and handed Zhang Cheng a small pink bag. Here, I brought a small gift for you. Zhang Cheng was a little surprised. He took it and saw that it was a small conch. Thanks. Zhang Peng and Li Long stared at them with burning eyes. Zhang Ming coughed lightly at this moment, it's almost done, Zhang Cheng, let's try yours first. Zhang Cheng nodded and gave Zhang Ming the admission ticket. Open the website and enter your ID number and admission ticket number. The first time, the channel didn't open. The second time, it was stuck like crazy. The third time, after the page waited for a few seconds, the transcript appeared. Candidate's name, Zhang Cheng. Admission ticket number, XXX. Chinese, 138. Mathematics, 150. English, 143. Comprehensive Science, 280. Total score, 711 points. Provincial ranking, 2. Hiss. Zhang Ming looked at the page, read it carefully twice, and then said happily, Zhang Cheng, okay. Zhang Peng and the others behind him came over and looked at the scores and rankings, feeling dizzy. Come on, you guys can check it out for yourselves. After Zhang Ming gave Zhang Cheng a thumbs up, he laughed, stood up, stepped aside, and ran directly out of the computer room. Zhang Cheng rolled his eyes at the crazy Zhang Ming, sat down, exited the page, and continued to inquire. You will enter Xinren's ID number and admission ticket number. After being stuck for a while, I entered the page. Okay, Xinren, your estimate is conservative. Zhang Cheng raised the corner of his mouth and said with a smile. Yu Xinren, with a total score of 596 points. Among them, Chinese performance was excellent, with a score of 135. Yu Xinren was also full of joy, but thinking of Zhang Cheng's score, although it's not bad, when I think about your perverted score, I'm shocked again. Hey, Zhang Cheng was a little embarrassed. There is no way, can the college entrance examination be the same if it is cheated? Zhang Peng pulled Zhang Cheng away and said, come on, you go, we will check our scores ourselves. A look of sadness and anger. Zhang Cheng shook his head in amusement and stepped aside. Zhang Ming on the other end rushed straight to the side and waited for the school leaders. Principal, I'm so happy. Zhang Ming shouted while laughing wildly. The school leaders who were smoking, chatting and waiting were very anxious when they heard, Teacher Zhang, what kind of joy is it? Tell me quickly. Zhang Cheng from class 9, 711 points. What? Are you sure you're not from the rocket class? Zhang Ming was running so fast that he was out of breath, gasping and speechless. The principal directly gave him water to drink. Don't be anxious, speak slowly. That's right, it's Zhang Cheng, my student from class 9, who ranks second in science in the province, with a score of 711. I checked it 3 times, and it's absolutely correct. Zhang Ming calmed down and said loudly. Okay. The principal also laughed and slapped his thigh. Guangulin Middle School will have Mizuki Kyoto again this year. Zhang Ming then took Zhang Cheng's information and gave it to the school leaders, asking them to check it again. But before they could check again, a call came to the principal's office. Shuimu University Admissions Office. Okay, we'll wait for you at school. After hanging up the phone, the principal looked happy. Teacher Zhang, please ask Zhang Cheng to stay for a while until Director Liu from the admissions office of Shuimu University comes over. Hey, good. Zhang Ming was very happy. After teaching a student from Shuimu University in a regular class, Zhang Ming felt that his resume was about to take off. But immediately, another phone rang. Hello, Kyoto University Admissions Office. Okay. Oh my god, people from both schools are coming here all of a sudden. Stealing people. When Zhang Ming returned, the scores of Zhang Peng, Li Long, and Chen Hao happened to be found out. Zhang Peng, 582 points. Li Long, 588 points. Chen Hao, 569 points. They all did well in the exams. Zhang Ming was very happy. However, judging from the preliminary results, this year's science score should be much higher. Last year, the first line was more than 510 points, but this year it will definitely be impossible. The questions were a little easier, and everyone's scores were very high. Everyone should go back and wait for the score line. You can fill in your application on the 28th. If you don't have a computer, you can come to the computer room to fill it out. Zhang Ming reminded. Zhang Peng was a little uninterested. He was usually ranked first, but in the end, when it came to the college entrance examination, even Li Long and Yu Xinren got higher than him. Teacher Zhang, let's go first. Li Long was very happy. He scored more than 10 points more than expected. He felt very good. Several people left one after another. Zhang Cheng, please stay for a while. Seeing Zhang Cheng preparing to leave, Zhang Ming hurriedly stopped him. What's wrong, Teacher Zhang? The admissions office of Shuimu University will come over later. You can stay for a while. Oh, I guess I'm here to sign an agreement. Zhang Cheng responded and followed Zhang Ming. The results of the rocket class are basically in. The first place score is 655. It is not yet known whether he can go to Mizuki or Kyoto. But there is no problem with schools such as Magic City Cathay. Zhang Cheng followed Zhang Ming to the principal's reception room and was immediately praised by many school leaders. By the way, these were the same leaders who held the 1,000-person review meeting. After waiting for less than half an hour, Mizuki and people from the Kyoto admissions office arrived. The admissions officer at Shuimu University in Kailan Province is Lu Lin, and the one at Kyoto University is a beauty named Chen Yao. The two of them were full of excitement as soon as they entered the door. Principal Liu greeted him. Director Liu, Director Chen, welcome to our Guanggalan Middle School. Principal Liu, is Zhang Cheng here? Chen Yao asked directly. Here, he is Zhang Cheng. Principal Liu raised his finger and pointed at the most handsome guy over there. Lu Lin stepped forward directly. Zhang Cheng, this is Lu Lin who is talking to you. Thank you for choosing Shuimu University. Come on, let's sign the agreement. Chen Yao said anxiously. Zhang Cheng, please consider our Kyoto University. Our Kyoto University is willing to provide more favorable conditions than Shuimu. Tuition is free, a scholarship of 50,000 yuan, and opportunities to study abroad at prestigious universities such as Sifton. Quote. TCH, what's so attractive about your conditions? Zhang Cheng wants to learn computers. Are your computers better than ours? Lu Lin said disdainfully. Is our computer in Kyoto weak? What's more, I think Zhang Cheng has perfect scores in mathematics, so he can choose our mathematics department. Our school is the strongest in mathematics. Chen Yao puffed up her chest and shouldered it directly. We have a good academic style. Not only do we have a good academic style, but we also have beautiful senior students. We have air conditioning. The so-called signing of a contract is essentially just an agreement. For it to take effect, you have to wait for a formal application to apply. But the leaders and teachers of the entire school are very happy. Zhang Cheng cooperated somewhat and did not disappoint them. There is still something to be happy about. The county will reward you with 100,000 yuan. You can buy a computer. When he got home, Chen Ru had already cooked several good dishes and was waiting for him with Zhang Yiping. You're back. What took you so long? We stayed at school and talked about some things. Zhang Cheng was in a good mood. He reviewed intensively for 2 months and was finally satisfied with the results. Zhang Yiping followed him up to the attic, but couldn't help but ask, "What's the score?" "Several people from the school called me this morning, and I didn't have time to answer them." 711, second in the province. Zhang Cheng replied with a smile. The two of them didn't pay attention to these things before, but after the 4th model, they paid attention to them every day. "Haha, my baby is so awesome." After going upstairs, Chen Ru hugged Zhang Cheng tightly, her eyes red. Zhang Yiping was also very excited and said repeatedly, "Okay, let's have a drink today." Zhang Cheng took out the agreement from his pocket and said, "Here, this is the agreement signed with the admissions office of Shuimu University. I have already chosen a school. Any other school that asked me declined." So fast. Zhang Yiping took it and looked at it seriously. He never knew that there was such an operation in the college entrance examination. Once they are sorted out, have the schools already been selected? Or will the university recruit them in person? Learned a lot. Zhang Yiping folded the agreement and handed it back. "It needs to be packed away." Chen Ru smiled from ear to ear and said, "Tomorrow I will go to Wengxing Temple to fulfill my wish." "Yes, remember to bring more sesame oil." Zhang Yiping nodded in agreement. "Ancestors, thank you for your blessing. Our family, Zhang Cheng, is prosperous." Chen Ru walked to the kitchen again, bowed to the magic sign and thanked her. At noon, the whole family was enjoying themselves. Zhang Cheng was also very happy and drank a lot with Zhang Yiping. This should have never happened before. With his photographic memory, Zhang Cheng was able to appreciate his parents' love in many details. Just like those boxes of Life No. 1. Even though it didn't help much, I still felt warm inside after drinking it. After the meal, the family sat together and thought about it carefully. Chen Ru closed the store and did not plan to open today. If Zhang Cheng hadn't stopped her, she would have put a notice on the door. "Does a computer major require the use of computers?" Zhang Yiping asked. Zhang Cheng nodded, "Yes, I was just about to tell you. I have been learning computer-related knowledge recently and was planning to buy a laptop. Originally, I wanted to buy it myself, and the county would reward me with 100,000 yuan, but I didn't. Come down quickly then." "No, I'll withdraw 6,000 yuan for you." Zhang Yiping agreed without thinking. "Good." Soon, Zhang Yiping took a stack of money and gave it to Zhang Cheng, letting him use it freely. "Carrot oh carrot, I'll go, it's only 1 point away, why do I feel like you're so low-key?" Qin Jin held his phone and looked at the messages pushed by the software. The top scorers in liberal arts and sciences in the 2011 Carlin Province College Entrance Examination are all from Linchuan No. 1 Middle School. The top scorer in science, with 712 points, is only 1 point more than Zhang Cheng. But the internet is full of overwhelming publicity about the number 1 winner. Zhang Cheng smiled and said, "Isn't this great? You don't have to worry about being harassed." Even when Zhang Ming asked reporters to interview him, he declined them all. He doesn't like the limelight. In this life, after being admitted to a good university, his path has changed. "In my new life, I still have to do things I like. Making money is secondary, financial freedom is all. More importantly, experiencing a different life is both famous and beneficial. There is also the pursuit of the secrets of plugins in the body." The two went to buy computers together, and now they arrived at a computer store on Yanjiang East Road. Qin Jin pointed to the Lianxiang computer next to him. "Let's go take a look here." "Don't even think about it." Zhang Cheng refused directly. "Traitor, H-Tui." Zhang Cheng finally chose the Acer 4740G series, priced at 4,999 yuan. Qin Jin chose an Asus notebook with high configuration and the ability to play games. The price was higher, more than 7,000. "What have you been busy with recently?" Qin Jin couldn't see Zhang Cheng all day long, and playing games alone was a bit boring. "Read a book in the library." "Reading a book? What book are you reading?" "I read all kinds of books, including computer science, programming, literature and history," Zhang Cheng explained. He does read very complexly and very quickly. Because he could only borrow 3 books at most, Zhang Cheng basically read all the books he borrowed in one morning. The librarian had objections several times. He just stayed in the library and read. Read one book after another. The mobile phone number is only for family members, and no one bothers me. Chin Jin said, I feel like I can no longer look at you with normal eyes. I'm not abnormal. You're a pervert. Piss off. Chin Jin laughed and said, it's time to fill in the application form. Where do you fill it out? Mizuki or Kyoto? Mizuki Computer Science and Technology. I guess you will choose Shwimu. Chin Jin was a little depressed. I searched for schools in the capital for a long time, and the scores are all high. Then where are you going to choose? Zhang Cheng knew that Chin Jin's score was better than estimated, and he scored 395 points. The score line for 3 books is 373 points. Chin Jin was admitted to the undergraduate program. So whether Chin Jin is buying a mobile phone or a computer recently, Uncle Chin has been very supportive. I've made a decision, how about you help me with the details? Chin Jin chuckled, I'll also choose a computer then. Will you take me flying in the future? That's not necessary. Just choose the major you like, otherwise it will be very tiring to study. Zhang Cheng shook his head and did not recommend this. But I don't know what I like. I never thought I could get into college. Okay, let's study it further. The two of them walked back with the computer in their arms. Chin Jin said, please pull up the network cable as soon as possible. Let's connect at home when we have time. I may not have time, let's talk about it later. Zhang Cheng was not very interested in games. However, I am interested in developing games. After all, this is another time, and Zhang Cheng knows a lot about some popular games. Chin Jin was a little helpless. Zhang Cheng was no longer the picky person, but he both liked to peck each other. The two broke up and left, each going back to his own home. After meal, Zhang Cheng took apart his laptop and powered it on. After all, it is a new computer and the boot speed is pretty good. Of course, this cannot be compared with the boot time of a solid-state drive. Holding the network cable, Zhang Cheng plugged one end into his laptop and touched the other end with his fingers. A weak current passes through. Sure enough, as expected, Zhang Cheng felt the sound of new equipment being connected in his mind. Network connection detected, determined to be a direct LAN connection. Later, Zhang Cheng saw a computer in My Online Neighborhood. Just click on it and it will be Zhang Cheng's new computer. 320G hard drive, of which C drive is 80G, D drive is 100G, and E drive is about 100G. The books that have been written on the physical computer in Zhang Cheng's body have reached more than 300,000 words in a few days. The plot is compact and the language is full of ancient style. The description of the environment is extremely realistic, as if you were actually there. Although it was written with two purposes in mind, Zhang Cheng felt that after studying a large number of literature books, history books and online books, he could write these easily and felt that it was a good article. Copy the files from the internal computer. In the E drive of the new computer, a new document appeared. Song of Jin. Brilliant Internet Cafe. On the Chengxi Chinese website, Zhang Cheng completed the new book and started uploading the first chapter. The introduction is as follows. In the early Jin dynasty, China was home to 10 kingdoms. On a snowy morning, Lin Xiao's arrival broke the tranquility before the turmoil. Therefore, Ling Shui saw off guests. Mo Shan cultivated people, farmers, workers and merchants, and inherited military virtues. Era, witness a great promotion song. This story is my own, any similarity is purely coincidental. Zhang Cheng actually knew that some of them could be invested internally, but he didn't have any channels at the moment, so he might as well update them first. With a computer that is mature and can write at all times, Zhang Cheng saves a lot of things. 10,000 words a day is just a starting point. If the writing goes smoothly, Zhang Cheng can write 50,000 to 60,000 words a day in the computer inside his body. Then another chapter was uploaded, and Zhang Cheng pulled out the USB flash drive and prepared to go back. The network cable will be installed today, and Zhang Cheng will no longer have to come to the internet cafe. Writing a book can be regarded as Yuan Zhangcheng's dream in his previous life to become a great god. In this new life, he must find a way to realize all his dreams. The E72's network is average. If it is not connected to Wi-Fi, the speed is only a dozen kb. However, reading online articles is okay. After a while, Zhang Cheng was able to find his new book on the website. No cover, only one click. Take your time. When it was almost time to fill in the application form, Zhang Cheng had already updated it to Chapter 8 online. The clicks slowly increased. The collection reached 37. There are a few more comments in the book. Wow, I didn't expect to click in by accident and see such a good book. The author's ancient prose is first-rate and the writing is very good. It's a good book, but I'm new to it. I'm a longtime fan of it. Zhang Cheng continued to transfer a large file from the computer inside his body. Within a few days, another manuscript of more than 200,000 words was released. Write a paragraph in the book review, and then put the essence at the top. New books are being uploaded. You need to click, collect, and save a lot of manuscripts. Not long after the comment was posted, a reply was prompted. What's wrong with Yuan Fang? Please give me more updates, we'll give you tap water to promote it. Zhang Yi Sufeng. Pay attention to the collection situation. 3 updates if the collection is good, 4 updates if the collection exceeds 1,000, 5 updates if the collection exceeds 10,000. What's wrong with Yuan Fang? Good book, wait for the 5th update. Button nose. Zhang Cheng did not reply again, calmed down and continued to update as planned. For a while, there was still no news about the signing. Zhang Cheng is not in a hurry. He has conceived the story himself, and with careful craftsmanship, he believes that there will be good results. It's nothing more than the length of time. Time flew by all of a sudden. On June 28, after Zhang Cheng formally filled in his application online, he stopped paying attention to the follow-up matters of the college entrance examination. Just wait for a while and get the admission letter. Later, Zhang Cheng made a call to Director Lu Linlu of the Shuimu admissions office. Informed that the application has been completed. Director Lu was very happy and said he would send the admission notice as soon as possible. Ranked second in science in the province, he didn't even put any thought into grabbing people. Very smooth. On the contrary, the top pick with only 1 point more gave him a headache. Of course, Zhang Cheng didn't know this and didn't want to know. He has his own goals and does not require good conditions. How much ability a person has does not depend on the college entrance examination. He still has a lot to learn. The ID number in the group was leaked at some point, so Zhang Cheng simply set up a messy question. The answer is 3.1415926. It suddenly became quiet and there were no more friend requests. Having just graduated, the Cuckoo group is still very lively, but Zhang Cheng only glances at it occasionally and never makes a fuss. The snapping sound started. Yu Xinren, have you filled out your application? Zhang Cheng, well, you don't have to think about anything, just fill in the report and get it done. What about you, where did you choose? Yu Xinren, her first choice is Kyoto University of Economics and Business, and her second choice is Jinmen University of Finance and Economics. But I'm still a little worried. Zhang Cheng, it should be no problem. Yu Xinren, we are not as stable as you. Zhang Cheng, there is no way. Yu Xinren, oh, you are so arrogant. Yu Xinren, when I get admitted, I want to go to the school to check it out in advance. How about taking us to visit your school? Zhang Cheng, who are we? Yu Xinren, I will go with my parents then. Zhang Cheng, it depends on whether I have time to go. However, I feel there is no need to go early. If I don't stay there every day for the next 4 years, I will get tired of it. Yu Xinren, Zhang Cheng, really, we'll see when the time comes. Yu Xinren, okay. By the way, where did Qin Jin report? Zhang Cheng, I chose Jinghua Northern College as my first choice. My second choice is Carlin Astri. Yu Xinren, he is also planning to go to Kyoto. Zhang Cheng, yes, he said he wanted to follow me. Yu Xinren, then his level may not be able to keep up. Zhang Cheng, no, it's not necessarily the same major. Yu Xinren, we are all in the north. I will make an appointment to go to Kyoto and Jinmen then. I have not been to the north yet. Zhang Cheng, you have your parents with you, not us. Yu Xinren, then let's go. Zhang Cheng, let's talk. Yu Xinren, I heard that many girls want to cheat on you now. How do you feel? Zhang Cheng, it's so annoying. It's closed and no one can add it. Yu Xinren, okay, let's not talk anymore. Let's talk next time. The E72i's full keyboard is easy to use once you are familiar with it. Zhang Cheng was typing and chatting, feeling very fast. Dash 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 dash. By July 1st, news finally came from Zhang Cheng's writers backstage. It is an on-site message announcing the signing of the contract. System notification. Hello author, your work has been reviewed and has reached the signing standards. Please wait patiently for contact from the signing editor and indicate your book title and author name. During the signing period, please do not change your author name. This will affect signing progress. If you need to change your name, please contact your editor to make changes before signing. Your editor is Orange, buckle number. Well, Zhang Cheng feels pretty good. Each chapter of the book has 3,000 to 4,000 words, and it has been updated to 14 chapters, with more than 46,000 words. Zhang Cheng then added the editor-in-chief as required. Zhang Yi Sufeng. Hello. Juzi. Hello, your work, Jin Zhe, has met the contracting standards. I will send the agreement to you when it is completed. After filling it out, send it to me for review. If there is no problem, make 2 copies. After signing, send it to XXX District XX, Magic City number 35, Mr. Chen, 131XXXXXXXX. Orange. Don Chinese Network Signing Agreement. Click to download. Zhang Yi Sufeng. Okay. Afterwards, Zhang Cheng quickly compiled the signing materials and signed his name on them, Zhang Cheng. As for the contract issue, Zhang Chengdu took a look at it, but these things were all templates. Zhang Cheng is just a newcomer and is not qualified to negotiate modifications to the agreement. After sending the agreement, Zhang Cheng spoke to Juzi. Orange. The work will be changed to contract status as soon as possible after receipt, please keep updated. Zhang Cheng could certainly afford to wait and updated it regularly. The data is getting better and better. Zhang Cheng browsed other books and found that many taps were promoting him. No wonder the number of clicks and collections has increased rapidly in the past 2 days. Zhang Cheng looked at the background and saw that the number of collections had reached more than 400. The comments section was all positive. Bai Xiaosheng Bai Xiao. I bet that this book will definitely make a god. I have a companion on the journey of cultivating immortality. I feel that the author's writing style is very good, I envy him. Half drunk and confused. Ancient Chinese writing is very high level, and I feel like I am studying history or Chinese. Zhang Cheng didn't reply. I just added a book review and put the essence at the top. Thanks to everyone's love, the book has been signed and the status will be changed soon. It will be updated 3 times a day. Someone else followed. Why are you posting a book review? Hurry up and type. I hope it will be updated more and the quality will not be affected. It is rare to see a book of such high quality. The characters are well drawn and the language style is superb. Zhang Cheng took a look and saw that some people were already offering rewards. However, none of this matters. Zhang Cheng continued to save manuscripts quickly, preparing to use them when the time came. On July 5th, Zhang Cheng's Jin Zhe was officially signed. On the same day, Zhang Cheng congratulated Wu Zhang. After signing the contract, the editor saw the book's popularity and directly recommended new books, which soon entered the new book list. As soon as the popularity increased, the collection of Zhang Cheng's book grew rapidly. Zhang Cheng didn't spend much time managing book reviews or constantly refreshing data. Except for regular updates, Zhang Cheng ignored them. Instead, I continued to learn programming on my own. C language. The book was sent from the admissions office of Shuimu University, basic tutorial on C language programming. In addition, there are discrete mathematics and its applications, principles of computer composition, database system concepts, computer networks, and so on. Zhang Cheng's cheating learning talent allowed him to get started quickly. And started programming. Experiment 1. Input 3 integers x, y, z, and output these 3 numbers from small to large. Main, opening curly bracket, int x, y, z, t. Scan f%d%d%d, and x, and y, and z. If x greater than y, t equals x equals y equals t. If x greater than z, t equals z equals x equals t. If y greater than z, T equals Y, Y equals Z, Z equals T. Printf small to big. %d n, x, y, z. Closing curly bracket. Zhang Cheng feels that programming the desired effects requires logical thinking, and the programming methods are also different from different perspectives. Some are more efficient, some less efficient. This is like solving a math problem. Often there is more than one solution, but the one who can come up with the optimal solution is worthy of praise. Fortunately, Zhang Cheng's logical thinking became faster and more accurate under the influence of the plugin. After practicing a few questions on his own, Zhang Cheng was ready to conduct a new experiment. Visual Studio 2010. Through the network cable, Zhang Cheng has made a copy of it and placed it in the physical computer in his body. Then, open and run. Install. Everything is exactly the same as outside computers. After it was installed, Zhang Cheng added code into it, and the speed instantly increased several times. Zhang Cheng quickly wrote 7 or 8 lines of code according to his own ideas as soon as his mind moved. As long as Zhang Cheng has the logic and ideas to answer, his programming speed can be as fast as lightning. This plugin is really cool. Zhang Cheng laughed and began to read a book while simulating programming in the computer inside his body. The learning progress suddenly improved. It's like reviewing before the college entrance examination again, just flip through the book, understand, and remember. The existence of multi-threading also allows Zhang Cheng to program and write Word at the same time. However, as the program he compiled required more CPU resources from the computer, Zhang Cheng clearly felt that there would be a slight lag. But after exiting the simulated computer system, this feeling disappeared again. It seems that the biological computer can use more brain cells, neurons and other resources, and it is much faster than a CPU like i5-2300. However, Zhang Cheng also read many popular science books. The human brain is far inferior to computers in many aspects. The human brain transmits signals at 100 meters per second, and the error is large, while the computer's 70% speed of light has very small errors. Moreover, the human brain's memory storage is easy to compress or select important fragments for storage. Other information will be lost. Although Zhang Cheng also felt that it made sense, now he felt that there was always something that was not being used. Otherwise, why does the existence of plugins allow you to have 2 systems in your body at the same time? One is a biological computer system and the other is a physical computer system. Although the energy consumption has improved, it is not a high energy consumption. Zhang Cheng still eats 3 meals a day, but he eats about 20% more food. These are the directions of his research. But now, Zhang Cheng's level is too poor. Learn and develop. After all, Guangdalin is a small county town and its library does not have many collections. By mid-July, Zhang Cheng had already read through all the history books, and even memorized and understood the 24 histories and romance books sentence by sentence. Having trouble making paper books, Zhang Cheng turned his attention to electronic books. After studying on multiple forums, Zhang Cheng downloaded an e-donkey and started downloading various scanned versions of e-books. He downloaded all the collections of classics and history, must-read classics, and various books on computers and programming. After downloading for 4 or 5 days in a row, the download was completed. There is no way. The 2M telecommunications network has a maximum speed of just over 100 kilobytes. Using LAN direct connection technology again, Zhang Cheng copied all these classics and other books to the physical computer e-disk in his body. Occupies 1.75 G of space. However, the knowledge of these copies cannot be mastered directly. Zhang Cheng still needs to read. The computer inside the body is already doing programming and writing books in 2 ways. However, programming does not mean programming all the time, and Zhang Cheng cannot spend all his time here. When he is not studying computers or software books, Zhang Cheng does not program. During this period, Zhang Cheng gave him about an hour a day to read these books. When reading in my head, the speed is not bad. But when reading, Zhang Cheng's mind was basically reading and memorizing, and he could no longer do other things at the same time. Therefore, the reading time is usually from 11 to 12 o'clock in the evening, which happens to be reading before going to bed. Not to mention these boring studies. On the morning of July 12th, the postal courier delivered an admission letter to the school. What? Is it Zhang Cheng's admission notice? Wait, I'll inform the principal. Zhang Ming looked surprised and hurriedly called. Zhang Cheng had no phone number before, and the notice always contained the school's address, and the phone number was Zhang Ming's. After a while, the school became lively. What? Director Cao is coming to deliver it in person. Okay, let's wait. After the principal reported, he didn't expect that there were so many things, so he had to wait. The courier was helpless and bored. The principal explained, haha, thank you for your hard work. You have to wait. Director Cao of the Education Bureau and the radio and television reporters will come over later, and we will deliver them together. After all, I am from Shuimu University. I understand. Fortunately, the courier also understood and was very cooperative. Then the principal said to Zhang Ming, our city's top pick is still too low-key. He is not even allowed to be interviewed. If it doesn't work this time, we still have to publicize it in our county. You need to communicate with Zhang Cheng and his parents first. Hey, got it. Then, Zhang Ming ran to make a phone call first. Hey, hello, Father Zhang Cheng. Yes, I need to be interviewed. Well, it's okay, just dress normally. I'll just tell you how Zhang Cheng has always studied and how you two educate your children. Zhang Ming was on the phone with a headache. Hey, don't talk about Zhang Cheng's previous grades and performance, just talk about his performance in the past few months. Our school will also pay attention to publicity. Okay, then please do some ideological work for Zhang Cheng and ask him to cooperate. After this publicity, I estimate that the reward of 100,000 yuan will be paid in mid-August. After finally communicating for a long time, Zhang Ming explained everything that should be paid attention to during the interview and then hung up the phone. There is no way, if it is publicized that Zhang Cheng skipped classes every day and went online, and after a few months of intensive review in his senior year of high school, he passed the Mizuki exam, then who knows where the trend will go. Director Cao of the Education Bureau arrived very quickly. He took reporters with him and a group of people happily ran to Zhang Cheng's home. Zhang Ming was sitting in the principal's car, leading the way. Within 6 or 7 minutes, the group arrived at the small Zhongyan grocery store along Yangshi Road. At the entrance, Chen Ru and Zhang Yiping were already waiting eagerly in front of the store. Only Zhang Cheng sat helplessly at the cashier, still holding a copy of Basics of Programming and looking at it. As soon as we got off the bus, the excitement started. You must be Zhang Cheng's parents, congratulations. Director Cao took the lead and said congratulations. A bouquet of flowers and an open Shuimu University admission notice were handed to Zhang Cheng under the presentation of Director Cao and Principal Liu. With poses, Zhang Yiping and Chen Ru stood beside Zhang Cheng, and everyone stood at the postal car. Zhang Ming also squeezed into the frame, but only half of his bald head was captured. It was cut off again later, shish. In the picture, Zhang Cheng, wearing a white t-shirt, smiled and accepted the notice and flowers. Zhang Yiping still showed his demeanor and just smiled. Chen Ru smiled happily. Then came the interview. Zhang Cheng was admitted to Shuimu University as the top scorer in this year's college entrance examination. I wonder what my parents think. I feel very happy and proud. Then can you tell me what's the secret to my child's high scores? Zhang Yiping, we have little control. The key lies with the children themselves. Chen Ru, yes, Chengji is very conscious about his studies, so we don't need to worry about him. Zhang Cheng also accepted the interview at Zhang Ming's request. Zhang Cheng in the picture is still a bit immature, but his face is determined, expressionless. Classmate Zhang Cheng, what do you think of the results of this college entrance examination? I feel that I have performed well. I would like to thank my parents for their caring care and the teachers for their dedicated training. Our teachers in each class, including Teacher Zhang, Teacher Chen, and Teacher Zhang, are all excellent. They have not abandoned any of our students and are dedicated to their responsibilities. People teach, so I have to thank them. Of course, I also want to thank GLTV, MTV, KTV. Then do you have anything to say to the junior students who will take the college entrance examination next year? The college entrance examination is fair. As long as everyone works harder, they will gain more. I hope you will achieve good results and be admitted to the university of your choice. Zhang Cheng answered 2 questions and then waved his hand. Reporter Zhang, how about this? You can interview our teacher Zhang and Principal Liu. While talking, Zhang Ming, who was smiling from ear to ear, was pushed over. He ran back to the attic. Wait a minute, the reporter followed. Can I take a photo of your room? Okay, but I've agreed in advance that I won't do the interview. It's okay, I'll just take some footage of you studying. Reporter Zhang smiled happily and went upstairs with the camera. Zhang Cheng's room is not big, except for a bed, desk and bookshelf. Zhongcheng High School's textbooks and teaching aids are neatly placed above, as well as some reference books, and books on computers, literature and history that are currently self-study. On the desktop is a copybook in which he is practicing calligraphy. Not regular script, but regular script. Regular script looks good, but after all, it is for the college entrance examination, so the actual writing is a bit slow. Zhang Cheng is practicing regular script. Classmate Zhang, your handwriting is so beautiful. Reporter Zhang wanted to ask more questions, but when he saw Zhang Cheng sitting at the desk, no longer talking, and continuing to practice calligraphy by himself, he asked the camera to quickly take some footage. Then he asked, "Can you send me a message?" Zhang Cheng glanced at the reporter, nodded, took a piece of art paper, and wrote on it with a pen. Establish a destiny for the livelihood of the people, establish a heart for the heaven and earth, inherit the unique knowledge of the past saints, and create peace for all generations. Signed by Zhang Cheng, written in July of the 11th year. Thank you. Reporter Zhang then stopped pestering Zhang Cheng. Zhang Ming and Principal Liu were also interviewed. After a while, Director Cao and his party left. Chen Ru took out some white rabbit toffees from the store and began to distribute them to the neighbors who came to watch the fun. Lady Boss, congratulations. Haha, we are all happy together. Chen Ru smiled happily. Shuimu University, that's the best school in China. It's really amazing. Boss lady, my daughter will take the college entrance examination next year. Can I have some notes from the #1 scholar to study with? Someone wanted to feel happy. Chen Ru waved her hand. I can't make the decision. I have to ask Chengji himself. The boss lady can help me and ask. Let's talk again, let's talk again. Chen Ru laughed, divided the candy, and then returned to the store. Soon, the excitement dissipated. At this time, many people have spread the news that the son of the proprietress of Shaozhongyan grocery store has been admitted to Shuimu University. Of course, Zhang Chengcheng didn't know this. After receiving the admission notice, Zhang Cheng was planning how to spend the remaining summer vacation time. At home, I feel a little irritable. Moreover, the library in Guanggalan is indeed a little short of books. There are even fewer books on computer science, only a few introductory ones. Thinking of Yu Xinren's suggestion, I suddenly felt that I could go to school in advance, even if I just read a book first. However, Zhang Cheng was really short of money at the moment and had no money. I don't know when the reward of 100,000 yuan will come out. Zhang Cheng asked his parents for money, but Zhang Cheng didn't want to. Then think of ways to make some quick money. Zhang Cheng heard that several Shangxian bosses wanted to invite Zhang Cheng to advertise, but Zhang Cheng didn't like it and refused directly. Clicked on the backend of Chengxi Chinese website. After signing the contract, Zhang Cheng changed it 3 times and 4 times, and his collection has reached more than 5,600. And the explosive trend is very obvious. There are more than 100 people who give rewards, and the highest number is the leader. The word count has reached 230,000 words. While Zhang Cheng was thinking, the button sound sounded. But it was Juzi who was responsible for editing. Orange, your book has done well and is going to be on the shelves next week. Do you have many manuscripts saved? Zhang Yi Sufeng, a little bit. Juzi, okay, then I will try to make some small recommendations in the next few days, and I will directly recommend them next week. Zhang Yi Sufeng, will the manuscript fee be paid 1 month after it is published? Orange, yes, the money for books is not so fast for the time being. Zhang Cheng put his thoughts on the programming he was currently learning. Through the computer, I opened Freelancer, registered an account Biocom in the forum, and started my new career. Freelancer is a large-scale freelance website where many people from all over the world post tasks, and freelancers can participate in bidding. If selected, you will be compensated accordingly. Remuneration is calculated in meters. Take it easy. Zhang Cheng took the time to make a call to Director Lu Linlu of the Shuimu admissions office. As soon as he answered the phone, the other party laughed heartily and said, "Student Zhang, have you received the admission notice?" "Received. Congratulations, our Shuimu computer science major has always been the top in China, and is at the forefront of research in areas such as artificial intelligence. I look forward to your continued success in school." Lu Lin made a phone call and expressed his congratulations. "It is an honor to go to school in Shuimu." Zhang Cheng naturally knew, "By the way, I want to go to Shuimu Library to read in a few days. I wonder if Director Lu can do anything." "Oh, so urgent." Lu Lin was a little surprised, but soon relieved. These great masters who can take the exam do have their own personalities. Guangdalin is a small county and there are too few library materials. "We have read all the computer books," Zhang Cheng explained. "Well, our Shuimu library has more than 3 million books of all kinds, and there are also a lot of works in the computer field. Many of them are masterpieces by professors in their own schools and are designated textbooks in most schools." Lu Lin was used to promoting and did not get into the topic for a long time. "Director Lu, can you get me a library card? In this case, classmate Zhang, I will give you the phone number of a senior student and ask him to lend you his card. If you go to Kyoto, you can also contact him directly." Lu Lin is from the resident admissions office, although he is not so busy now. But after all, it is not a one-to-one contact. "Sure, what's your last name, senior?" "My surname is Zhang and my first name is Bo Dao. I am 1 year older than you, so you can interact more." "Okay, by the way, when will the freshman scholarship be available?" Lu Lin explained on the other end of the phone. "When you are admitted, you can apply around October, and the application will be issued in November, and it will be issued annually over 4 years. "Oh," Zhang Cheng was a little annoyed and hung up the phone hastily. "That's it, goodbye." "Is it possible? Do you really want your parents to talk? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more."